Alrighty, we're finally here at the trial. Took about 3 hours to get here, man. I got it. This trial is also about to be 3 hours itself. I'm fine, I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine. Is Apollo okay? He's been muttering to himself all morning. He's been like that since yesterday. Guess the pressures of today's trial is getting to him. Poor Polly. He's really tearing himself up over all this. Get it together, Apollo! Yikes! Athena, when did you get here? Try to relax a little, will you? You're getting yourself way too worked up. Yeah, but I'm alright, I'm fine. You know, I did a little digging on this Netanyahu guy. He's apparently not your run-of-the-mill prosecutor. Oh yeah? What did you find out? Well, they say he wields an incredible power to accurately read the trial's karma and its ultimate fate. What's that supposed to mean? I don't have all the details, but apparently he can foresee how the arguments will go and even lead to his opposition. So the defense basically ends up going in whatever direction he has in his head. Man, it isn't going to be a cakewalk if that's true. Emma did say she talked to him for us, though. Here's hoping that it went well. In any case, it sounds like he's going to keep us on our toes. That's why I know you're ready. That's why I know I can leave Trucy in the office to you. I believe in you, Apollo. Phoenix, my boy. Mr. Wright is putting his faith in me. I can't let him down now. I'm fine. There he goes again. It's almost like he's chanting a prayer. I'm fine. I'm Apollo Justice and I'm fine. If you say so, Apollo. The trial will start momentarily. Is the defense ready? Yes, we're fine. I don't know about that. Trucy's fate and the fate of the agency rests on this trial. This is it, Justice. If there ever was a time to shine, it's now. No, I think it was the Cladver Gavin case. I think that was the biggest time to shine. That was apparently a whole new court system, and then they freaking got rid of it the next game. Court is now in session, day 1. I think it's only 1 day, I'm pretty sure. Court is now in session for the trial of Trucy Wright. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Netanyahu. And the prosecution? Prosecutor SoJ. 1,000 pardons. It was rude of me to keep you waiting. It was a prayer for the victim. Oh, praying. Yes, I see. So you're a Karen's monk, correct, prosecutor? Yes, that is correct. I am but a lowly monk from the kingdom of Karain. I beg in advance for the forgiveness and kind patience of everyone here in this court. I am unfamiliar with the proceedings of this country and may make many blunders. He seems like such a gentle-mannered soul, doesn't he? I wonder if Emma had a chance to talk with him about Trucy. Now then, Prosecutor SoJ did? Your opening statement, would you? Certainly. In the name of the Holy Mother, I vow to guide the victim's soul to a land of eternal peace known as the Twilight Realm. Now, let the last rites of the victim begin. Netanyahu, he's really been making a name for himself apparently, but that nickname, Last Rites Prosecutor, I wonder how that would come into play. The incident took place in the middle of a spectacular magic show. The accused performed a magic trick in which she thrust the sword into a coffin. Coffin from which the body of the victim then spilled out death from a fatal stab. The victim's name was Manoff Mistreat, otherwise known as the Great Mr. Reyes. His blood was found on the sword that was used during the magic trick. So, his death was just an unfortunate accident. It's only natural for one to assume as such, Your Honor. However, it was no mere accident, but rather a homicide. The prosecution is thus that this was a murder made to look like an accident. I see. Do you believe this crime was committed by the defendant? After a thorough consideration of all possible scenarios, I unfortunately had no other choice but to conclude as much. So that's how it's gonna be, huh? I guess Emma couldn't convince him after all. Very well, and now let us hear from the defense. Naturally, you will maintain that the defendant is innocent, Your Honor. The defense wouldn't mind. Could you please explain your reasoning? My reasoning, well, I'd have to say that my main reason is because I believe in the defendant. I see, so you find it difficult to come up with anything more concrete than that, do you? What what a fine demonstration of the fact that you are indeed a lawyer of putrid mind. Putrid mind? Prosecutor Samade. Excuse me, and I have no idea what you just said, Netanyahu. I ain't gonna hold you. If you don't mind my asking, Prosecutor, what was it that you were just chanting? A sutra of the Holy Mother that guides those of tainted souls towards enlightenment. It was a Kuranist incantation to awaken the foolish from their fruitless slumber. Fitting for a lawyer who indulges in such fancy as the innocence of the accused. I see, so basically you're asking the defense to get real. Allow me those few words, defense. It is my duty as a monk to punish sinners and to guide victim souls to the twilight realm. Should you show repentance and admit to the accused's guilt now, no harm will come to you. But, should you interfere with my sacred last rites for the victim, then I shall cast you down to the pit of the hell along with SoJ Wright. Now just wait a minute here. Putrid, pit of hell, is that any way to address someone in a court of law? Prosecutor Samade. That may be the way you conduct your trials in Garain, but I would appreciate it if you would refrain from such charred language here. Your Honor, that was but a Kuranist sermon for those who have strayed from the path. Harsh words are often necessary to admonish contemptible deviants who cannot see reason. Oh, I see. I didn't realize. I guess they really do hate defense attorneys in Garain, huh? Even still, that was way, way over the top as far as verbal abuse goes. The trial's only just begun. Well, defense, I suppose the way a prosecutor does things varies by country. Why don't we look at this as a cross-cultural exchange and try to be open-minded about it? But with this freaking judge always on the side of the prosecution, bruh. Bailiff, please bring in the first witness. Emma, I could have sworn that you gave up on those snackoos. Oh, I thought she said goodbye to the snackoos. Detective Sky, the courtroom is no place for gorging yourself. What's wrong with having a little snack? Girls gotta eat, right? She seems a little stressed out. Detective Sky, your testimony, please. Yeah, about that. I just want to state that for the record that I believe SoJ Wright is innocent. Oh, I'm sorry. Detective Sky, this path you seek to follow was misguided. Giving the wrongdoer false hope will only deepen her despair in the end. But let it go and move on. Acts which go against your duty will earn you divine punishment from the Holy Mother. Fine. I don't know about the divine part, but I get the punishment bit loud and clear. I guess Emma's gotta sign tons of paperwork for something for sticking up for SoJ. She and Prosecutor Samade don't seem to get along very well, do they? Shall we continue? The prosecutor contends that the accused had a clear motive. The evidence, if you would, Detective Sky? Alright, please take a look at this poster. It's a Troupe grammar poster from the 13 years ago. It's just me, or is it a little different from the one Mr. and Mrs. Wright's dressing room? It has a revised version of that poster. This one says cancelled under Mr. Reyes. That's right, Mr. Reyes left the Troupe after the first version of the poster was printed. Take a look at Mr. Reyes' right forearm near his elbow. See the big scar there? He apparently got that when he made a mistake while practicing a magic trick. Ouch, that's quite a scar. Because of the accident, Magnifique Grammar concluded that Reyes was too unskilled. Just before the show was about to open, Magnifique announced Mr. Reyes wouldn't be appearing. But in defiance of Magnifique's decision, Mr. Reyes tried to go on stage anyway. This in turn caused Magnifique to oust Mr. Reyes from the group on the spot. He kicked Mr. Reyes out? This seems rather extreme. Did he really have to go that far? When it came to magic, Trope Grammar was so passionate, or should I say extreme about it, that it caused problems for them from time to time. Yes, they even caused this court a mountain of trouble with their extreme antics. And now, the troupe's successor has committed murder. It seems that the Choupet's rare talent was inherited by the right person after all. A putrid talent for criminality. You run rather extreme yourself, prosecutor. Criminals with impure souls do not deserve sympathy, Your Honor. As I was saying, after his expulsion, Mr. Reyes apparently went on to hold a grudge against the troop. He would tell those close to him, I will get my revenge on Troop Grandmere someday. Revenge, That certainly sounds antagonistic. And then his chance for revenge finally came, if you would be so kind, Detective Sky. Guess I don't have a choice, do I? No, you do not. You gotta give me your testimony so that I can point out the contradictions in it, and then we can win this court case. The victim planned to get his revenge on Troop Grammar during Trucy's magic show. Mr. Reyes was only going to steal the grammar notebook from the defendant. He then intended to reveal the secrets behind their magic tricks during the show. That was the victim's plan for revenge, and while he did in fact steal the notebook, the defendant murdered him before he had the chance to reveal the secrets. No, he probably couldn't even get into the notebook. By the time the accused had discovered the notebook's theft, it was too late. Her option was to kill Mr. Reyes and make it look like an accident. Yeah, first of all, she didn't even know he stole it, and then second of all, she has a key. The victim's assistant, Bonnie M. DeFami, gave a police statement. She testified that just before the start of the show, Mr. Reyes said, I'm going to reveal all the Troop Grammar's secrets on stage today. What? Well, that isn't exactly a great starting point for rebuttal, isn't it? You're telling me. Allow me to give you one piece of advice, defense. Oh, what is that? Makoto Yuki. Let it go and move on. Excuse me? Helping a sinner will only sully your own soul. One possessed of an unclean soul will burn in the flames of hell, and then be ever burdened with that sin in their next life. But I don't believe in that sort of thing. Besides, I have no intention of giving up. Oh, Holy Mother, grant me the strength to deal with this putrid lawyer. All actions have consequences, and yours will surely earn you the honor of being a mere stink bug at best in your next life. Stink bug? No then, Mr. Justice. Your cross-examination, please. Yeah, we're about to point out the freaking contradictions. Did he even get into the notebook, though? I'm sorry, but what exactly is the basis for claiming it was murder? Beat me. What? The basis is beat me? You have to ask Prosecutor Samade over there, because he hasn't told me his reasoning either. Detective Scott, your feeding of information to the defense has not gone unnoticed by my eyes. Well, the bad karma of acts which go against your duty will impinge upon you in your next life. But even before that, it may impinge upon your job in the form of a transfer. Oh, please! Don't keep me out of the forensic unit. Anything but that. Poor Emma. She's really been risking everything for us. Well, Prosecutor Samade, what are your grounds for claiming homicide? It was the luminous tape in the understage passage. I realized that it had been moved. Moved so that Mr. Reyes would climb up onto the downstage coffin by mistake. What? Mr. Reyes, who was waiting in the understage passage, was supposed to have used the upstage ladder shown on the left here. He had to go into that coffin? He was to climb into the coffin that had been set up in the backstage area, after being turned into a stuffed dragon during Act 1. Mr. Reyes was supposed to come back to life and emerge from that coffin, but the luminous tape had been moved to mark down the downstage ladder. So the victim climbed into the coffin on the stage itself by mistake, the very same coffin that the accused thrust her sword into. You have proof that it was my client who moved the tape? But of course, Detective Sky. Oh, that's right. Identify the defense finger tape on luminous tape. You what? He actually had proof. Was she not wearing gloves during the whole debacle? Well, defense, are you finally ready to let it all go and move on? Absolutely not. Detective, please add the information of the prints to your tape and testimony. Alright, here's where we're gonna present this.
Objection!
She was wearing gloves, what? Alright, buddy. That literally shows her wearing gloves throughout the whole tiny thing, bro. But sure. Let's press it then. Hold it! What made you think check the luminous tapes for prints? Well, I bet it was a detective's intuition. I dusted not just the tape, but just about everywhere for fingerprints. Oh? I dusted pretty much every single surface in the theater. I mean, it was so nice to be able to dust for prints without anybody getting mad at me. It's great that you're enthusiastic, Emma, but there is such a thing as too enthusiastic. The tape was moved to guide Mr. Reyes into the coffin that was downstage. But if that's true, it does sound like a murder rather than an accident. It certainly doesn't help that Shushi's fingerprints are on the tape. I wish I knew what sound would even be appropriate to make in this situation. Wait a minute. The murder weapon didn't have any fingerprints on it, right? I guess we don't have the murder weapon, but she told anyone that she never told anyone. I don't think this is it. We might press some other things. Oh wait. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. We just had to read. We just had to read. I don't like reading, bro. So obviously I wouldn't have read that. I'm sorry, Detective Sky, but there's a flaw in your testimony. Oh, really? The prosecution is claiming that Mr. Wright moved the understage tape during the show in order to guide the victim into the coffin downstage. But it doesn't make sense that she would leave prints on the tape at the time. It doesn't? Please consider the fingerprint result of the main coffin, which shows that not one of my client's fingerprints were found on or near it. Is that what he said? On or in it. That's true, we didn't find any fingerprints on the coffin. I think you realized what the flaw in your testimony is. Claiming Miss Wright left prints on the tape during the show is inconsistent with the facts. Because she was wearing gloves during the show. Oh, she must have left the prints sometime before the show started. In other words, her prints do not prove that she moved the tape to mislead the victim. The prosecution's investigation was insufficient. Oh my. But on a personal level, I'm very happy about that. Well, Prosecutor Samade, if the defense's argument is true, then you have no evidence that the defendant moved the tape to deceive the victim. I see. Apparently the defense is more intelligent than I thought. More than a stink bug at any rate. Come on, you can bump me up to at least a stag beetle now, can't you? Would that really be any better? Of course, way better. Stag beetles are cool. With those huge mandibles in there. The defense wishes to be promoted to a stag beetle. Then answer me this question. Alright, shoot. Even with no evidence that the accused moved the tape to misguide the victim. The victim still climbed the ladder using the tape as a guide. And entered the coffin on the stage. The accused then thrust her sword into said coffin with the victim in it. So what you're saying is, the fact remains that the victim was stabbed to death, right? I don't even know what voice I just gave the judge. I had to give him a random voice. Precisely. However, this does drastically change one aspect of this case. If the accused did not lead the victim into the coffin on purpose, then it means the victim's death could not have been accidental. If it was indeed an accident, the defense can argue that it was involuntary manslaughter. You see, this wasn't involuntary manslaughter. If this was involuntary manslaughter, they could plead excruciating circumstances. The severity of the crime would be mitigated. Defense, if you could believe the accused did not murder the victim, then do you argue that it was an accident? This isn't it. This is it, the important question. Now, was murdered. But not by her. We believe that it wasn't an accident, but murder. And what's more, we believe it was committed by a third party. A third party? As in the true culprit is someone else? Yes, bro. That is quite a brazen claim to make, and one wholly without grounds. Your voice is as loud as your suit, and your mind echoes just as loudly in emptiness. You're hush, an idiot. Surely you were but a loud red pepper in your previous life. I've been demoted to a vegetable? Wow. I didn't know a person could be reincarnated into a non-sentient plant. In any case, I do have ground to make this claim. Let's hear this reasoning of yours, then. Alright, before I give it, there is one question we need to address. If the victim was killed by some third party, then the sword the defendant thrust into the coffin wasn't the cause of death. If that's the case, then how did we wind up with the dead body inside the coffin? A very good question. Now, let's hear your opinion, Mr. Justice. How did the victim... It was magic? He was killed in the coffin. He was killed on her stage? Maybe? What if the victim was killed on the stage before being put into the coffin? In other words, what if the victim was already dead in the coffin from the get-go? Oh, I see. The defendant's sword wouldn't have been the cause of the accident. How do you respond, Prosecutor Samade? This for the third time? Third time for what? Yeah! How do you land it like that? What the hell is this? What the hell? What do you think you're doing? Even the merciful Holy Mother loses patience if she's struck 3 times. Since you never learn, you need to be punished. Why don't you let me worry about what I need to and don't need? It is what you deserve for interfering with my sacred last rites for the victim. You are a brainless lawyer chasing phantoms we know nothing about. Let this humble servant of the Holy Mother give you an edifying sermon. A sermon now? There is a passage in the sacred scriptures of Koreanism. The cornered frog will swallow even a snake. Huh? The cornered lawyer has unexpectedly struck back hard against the prosecutor. Did I get it right? No. For I am not done with my ceremony. And yet, the frog still dies, its belly bitten and torn from within. Which is great. And in this case, you are that frog, Defense. What exactly is your point anyway? Let us assume for a moment that the victim was killed under the stage. Who, then, had the opportunity to do so during the show? Let's see, the people in the show were... Bonnie de Femme, the victim Mr. Reyes, and Shusi Wright. Bonnie de Femme was on stage throughout the entire show, as easily confirmed by the footage from the show. Which leaves us with only one suspect, Shusi Wright. Now, do you see? The accused killed Mr. Reyes as he waited on standby in the understage passage, and then placed his dead body in the coffin above, thus making the murder look like an accident. O great merciful Holy Mother, thus another putrid mind has been guided towards enlightenment. I can't believe I swallowed this trick question whole. Sorry, but I have to raise an objection here. Athena, what are you... There's something I want to point out, Apollo. And who might you be? You strike me as a mere child in accountants. I may be young, but I had an attorney's badge just the same. And you would contribute to this discussion in that capacity? I most certainly would. You just argued that the defendant killed the victim under the stage. Let me remind you that Miss Wright is a girl. Clearly. Surely you don't raise an objection simply to point out such an obvious fact. Your Honor, please send this little child's guardian to come take her home. But I'm not done with my ceremony. You don't need to talk like Prosecutor Sama did, you know. Listen, if the victim was killed in the understage passage, then his body would then have to be hauled up to the stage, right? However, Miss Wright's a young girl, and a pretty petite one at that. She couldn't possibly have hefted that large body up and put it in the coffin. That's true. It seems like it would be a rather difficult task for the defendant. I don't think even I could do it. What do you think of that, prosecutor? Who's the child now? In my religion, the priestess of Koreanism are revered as the pillars of our beliefs, so I naturally hold nothing but deep respect for women. I also think highly of female perspective. Says the man who just called this fair maiden a little child. Who's a fair maiden? I agree that your point is worth discussing, defense. How I indeed was the body raised into the coffin. But the accused should be right, that is. You're committed to pointing the finger at her no matter what, huh? Then you explain how that even be possible. But of course. There was a way for even a small creature like her to raise the victim's body up. Huh? Wait. You can't... I foresaw that our argument would come to this, so I prepared a witness. Well, I admire your readiness, prosecutor. It is really not that difficult when one can read the ultimate outcome of any trial. He couldn't have really predicted that things would turn out like this, could he? It's pretty hard to believe. Excuse me, but may I step down now? Yes, I suppose you may. One moment, Detective Sky. I'm sorry for, the way I handled all this. You did a fine job, Detective. Your testimony was invaluable. It was? Yes, you served well as a detective and did not allow your personal feelings to interfere. You overcame the conflicting emotions you felt and performed like your duty admirably. You will be rewarded for your fine work. Oh, thank you. I hope we can work together again in the future. Emma seems to be bewildered by the unexpected praise. I guess he's a pretty nice person, like they say, as long as you're not up against him. Now then, call the first witness. I forgot the judge's voice. I'm not gonna hold you. Freaking Bonnie and Clyde over here, bro. You're the witness? How could you possibly see anything if you were upstage the entire time, like they just said? Witness, please state your name and occupation. Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the court. It's very nice to meet you all. Lego-morphing illusionist from the island, from the land of fairy tales, Bonnie the Valet. I can't wait to do some magic tricks for all of you. Well, please, witness. There is a time and place for all things, including magic. Oh, but it would be okay if I showed you just a little magic trick, right? Come on now, please. Look, everyone is waiting. Now's my chance to shine. I think this is a way of saying, shut the fuck up. That is your second time. Second time doing what? There will be no further warnings. You should know that from our preparatory meeting, correct? Is no one exempt from His Holiness's rosary of suffering? May we have your testimony, witness, once you've recovered from your disappointment? Well, I was a huge fan of Trucy's, but I don't really know what one to testify against her. But I guess I have to, don't I? He's a huge fan of Trucy's, huh? I hate her. I loathe her. I can't stand that Trucy Wright. Just because of her little good at magic, she thinks she's all that. This is exactly what that sniveling brat deserves. Sure, you're a real fan, alright. Of destroying Trucy, you mean? I really can't believe Trucy killed Mr. Reyes. If it's possible for a small girl to lift up a dead body if she used a stage lift. Is it possible? Could Trucy really have? Trucy did use a stage lift. I think she must use stage lift number 2. It was on stage for the entire show, by the way. You were on stage the whole time, and you were sure about that. There is no question. The entire audience could testify to that fact. What's more, she is clearly shown in the TV show footage as well. How could it possibly have killed Mr. Reyes? Not like little me. Therefore, the only person who could have killed the victim on the stage is the accused. Furthermore, by using the stage lift, even a petite young lady could have raised the body up to the stage without difficulty. You gotta be kidding me. Wait, but can't you can't lift them up both by it. Tracy had to move out of the way during the show. It was already all the way up. It was already all the way up. So how would she have used it? If it was already all the way up. How could she have used it? Cross examination. All right. I think this is where we pointed out right here. I don't know that. We're gonna use it though.
Objection!
Nope. Okay. Let's go back. Let's go back. There's pressure on this though.
Hold it!
Stage lift number 2. You mean the stage lift shown here on the left? That's right. With the stage lift, I think even a small girl could easily lift a dead body onto the stage. So that makes her the murderer in your opinion? Of course not. I believe in Trucy. Just like I said, I'm a huge fan of hers. Oh brother, how long is she gonna keep up this act? Defense. What position was stage lift 2 in after the show? Let's see, if I recall, it was in the fully raised position. Ah! And the only reason why it was fully raised is because the accused used it to lift the victim's body, wouldn't you agree? Feel free to slowly mull it over while you roast over the flames of hell, you evil red pepper. Oh, so now I'm also evil. Was she though? Let's watch this again. She's out of frame like a lot. Okay, we can see her. She's right there. Yep. That happens. Something goes up. I assume it was Mr. Hat. Like, oh, whoa, how do you do that? She's like, okay, and then I'll show you how to show you that no one's gonna come alive, and then she stabs the thing. Yeah. Then we can't even see her like it's this entire time. Like, for all we know, she like could just not be there right now. Yeah. I don't think anything. Hold up. Okay, I don't really know what to do here, so we'll just press. We didn't have a single spare moment to slip down in the understage passage. Huh? Don't tell me you suspect me now. I'm just trying to do my job by fully examining your alibi. Depending on how solid it is, I might have to suspect you, yes. You gotta be kidding me, don't spit on my head and tell me it's raining, lawyer boy. I'm here from the footage, or are you too much of an idiot to see? Huh? Miss Defense, are you feeling alright? You seem suddenly different. Oh, oops, where did that come from? Oh my, I must have snapped there for a second, didn't I? Sound like my rabbit. You didn't just snap, you broke your character just now. In any case, I was on stage the whole time performing magic. I mean, you saw me in the footage, right? My dazzling flawless performance? Flawless? That's odd concerning what you told me. You said you made a mistake with where you positioned Mr. Hat. Mr. Femi, to what is the defense referring to? Well, I made a mistake on stage. I was in charge of operating Mr. Hat, you see. According to the script, I was supposed to place him to the left of the coffin. But I accidentally placed him to the right. But I fumbled up and made him stand to the right of the coffin instead. Because of that mistake, Trucy had to move the stage left around. I feel really bad about messing Trucy up like that. My goof. Darn it, I don't see any inconsistencies in your testimony. And now, do you see who the real killer is? Now, do you see who the real killer is? Come on, Gramps. Don't just sit there. Hand down your ruling pronto. Do it quick before you keel up over there. I beg your pardon? Oops, I don't know what's got into me. I'm so sorry. I give her another 5 minutes before she tears that mask off. Well, defense? Are you ready to let it all go now? Of course not. I'd love to give up. I'm not John Cena. I see. I suppose this too is fate. The sacred sculptures of Koreanism describe the verities of hells for the damned. For someone like you who struggles so carelessly against this fate, Papul Bulge seems the most appropriate. People Bulge? What? Oh wait, that's Koreanese. What kind of terrible place is Papul Bulge? A place where more than one struggles, the further one falls into the abyss. At the bottom of the abyss, a ferocious beast awaits. Think of it as kin to Ant Lion's sand pit trap. Oh, there's more of those in my backyard. Wow, even Koreanism hell is closer to home than I thought. Now then, it would appear that the witness's testimony supports to claim the prosecutor's claims, that the defendant is the only one who could have killed the victim on the stage. How am I supposed to get out of this jam? Hey, Apollo, if you can't find any contradictions, maybe it's time to use my analytical psychology. You mean... I heard the discord in Bonnie's voice while she was testifying. So why don't Apollo just use his ring? That dumbass bird ain't here anymore, so we can obviously use it in court again. That's right, Apollo. Athena can hear things others can't with her super sensitive hearing. She can hear the emotions people suppress as a kind of noise or discord in their voices. Alright, Athena, let's give it a try. You got it. Your Honor, I'm afraid that our witness, Miss Defame, is suffering under terrible traumatic stress due to this horrible incident. She is? Yes, with a terrible death on stage and her beloved Shutzi getting arrested, she's so under awful shock and strain. In fact, I don't know how much more she can take before she's unfit to testify. What? I've heard of it before. What is it called? PTSD? It's where someone becomes uncontrollably angry, I think. I read about it somewhere. That's going postal, Your Honor. This is PTSD. Oh my. So that's why the witness acts so hostile at times, as if she were a different person. Yes, I think her condition is clouding her memory of the accident. However, I suggest a short therapy session for the witness. Huh? Therapy? You don't know the first thing about magician's mental strength. I've risked my life jumping through rings and fires, and having my body sawn in half. Oopsie, boy, I have to watch my zipper, don't I? Look at my rabbit. What a stupid fucking rabbit. Miss Guys, Miss Sykes, please do whatever you can to help this unfortunate young lady. And what exactly is this child planning to do, Mr. Justice? With her super sensitive hearing, Miss Sykes can hear a witness's true emotions. Simply from tone and inflection, she can tell exactly what the person is feeling. I can even pick out feelings what a witness is trying to support or hide. Which it projects the emotions I can hear into the mood matrix where I can analyze them. It sounds like some sort of spurious deviltry. Though I find it hard to believe, I must ask, how do emotions constitute evidence? I wouldn't say that emotions can be taken as evidence per se. I have seen how instrumental Miss Sykes' work has been in cracking a case. Therefore, I'll wholly support giving it a try. I see. You are in favor of it, Your Honor, then I have no objections. Even this mere monk can see that something disturbs the witness. I'll disturb you! Oh, thank you for the understanding, Mr. Prosecutor Samade. Apollo, you remember how to conduct a therapy session, right? You want me to lead a lesson? Of course, you're the lead in this case after all. Fair enough. Yeah, no, I know how to use it. I think I still remember from last time, so let's get right into it. Okie dokie. You ready, Widget? Let's do this. That ain't the song for it, but you know, we better hear that soon with freaking Phoenix Wright. Okay, she's scared. It makes sense. Even she can move the body with that lift. I was on stage at the time, but that terrible mistake. Pinpoint. She was shot. No? Okay, okay.
Got
Oh,
it!
you feel bad about it, but you're happy? Yeah, sure, buddy. I have to say, Mr. Fame, you certainly are a strange one. Even though you said I feel so bad about it, it seems you were feeling happy about it. Oh. I think I guess why you were feeling happy. It must be because... You messed your tea up. I think you were happy because you messed the defendant up. I'm right, aren't I? You gotta be kidding me. Why would I be happy to mess Shooty up? I'm a big fan of hers. Because we saw you. I hate her. I loathe her. I can't stand Shooty Wright. Just because she's a good at magic thinks she's all that. Yeah, we've seen this about 1,000 times before. We saw how you said you hated Shooty Wright. And you were glad she was in trouble and even how it was what she deserved. Huh. Looks like I hit the bunny on the head, so to speak. Apollo, the noise level dropped. Now we get down to 0%. Well, Mr. Fame, are you ready to confess how you really feel? What do you mean? I'm Bonnie, the sweet little cute bunny, but a rookie musician working hard to be just like my idol Josie. That's the character I'm supposed to be. Keep that up, Mr. Fame, and you're going to have a mental breakdown. Kind of like Goro Kechi got to you. Oh, I'm really at? The two sides of you are fighting each other, and doing you psychic harm. I can hear them, two distinct voices battling inside of you. Shut your pie hole, you nothing know it all. I mean, you mustn't say things like that, or I might get flustered. Mr. Fame, how long do you insist on maintaining this wolves and sheep clothing act? Oops. Can we end this therapy session until we got it real with us? Set the wild beast inside of you free. What's happening? Don't make me laugh. You don't know a dang thing about me. You want to see who I really am? Fine, take a good look. What are you, a bat? What in the world? Sheep's clothing? You've got it all wrong. It's this rabbit suit I've got on. I'm not a wolf. I'm a blood-sucking vampire. A bat with fangs and wings. I think we should open Pandora's box. I feel done with that goody two-shoes cocktail act. I feel free as a bat. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that voice. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of sounds like Winston Payne's from episode 1 and 2. Defense, your therapy session is taking a turn for the worse, from the looks of it. There is a perfectly good explanation for this, isn't there, Mrs. Sky? Sykes. Me thinks I created a monster. We blew it. Hey, you, lobster boy. Who, me? You think I'm glad she's in trouble that I think that she's getting what her just desserts? Well, guess what? You're right! Does this mean you admit to wishing the defendant harm? Well, the bat is out of the cage now. That mistake of mine was a work of art. Thanks to my goof, poor little Chusky had to do all that hard physical labor. When you say hard physical labor, what are you referring to? Because of Mr. Hat's new position, Chusky had to move both of those huge stage lifts. They must be so heavy, what a riot. That's strange. Athena, could you please add that last statement to Bonnie's testimony? Or to update the moon matrix and the new info. Yeah, you weren't supposed to know that, bro. Not a soul knew that she moved it. Yeah, she finally slipped, so what do I need to do now? From this point onward, you just need to do what you do best. Find the contradiction in the testimony and the piece of evidence and refute it. Alright, I got you now, Bonnie the Fame. Even she couldn't move a body with that lift. The on stage at time, but that terrible mistake. You know what? Serves her right. Thanks to that, she ended up having to move the stage lifts. Yeah, no one knew that, bruh. No one knew that in the slightest. I think there was
Objection!
She didn't tell not a soul about this. How would you know that? That doesn't make sense. What? So you think I'm crazy now? No. That's not the point I was trying to make. But I don't think you denying it. Mr. Fane, let me to repeat your statement. Thanks to that, she ended up having to move those stage lifts. That's right. But how did you know? How did you know Miss Wright moved the stage lifts? Huh? According to her own statement, she didn't tell anyone that she'd done. What? So how could you possibly have known what she had done unless you saw her? You saw Mrs. Wright move in the lifts in the understage passage, didn't you? When it's level 0? Then how was she on stage if she was down there looking at her? You did it, Apollo! Noise levels are at 0! But Mr. Justice, wouldn't that mean... Yes, Your Honor. Miss Stefame herself was on the stage where the victim was killed. And I hardly need to tell the court what that means. You are one awful liar, Miss Stefame. And one spectacular suspect. Why, you shiny red lobster boy? You're saying I killed Mr. Reyes? I'm saying that is a possibility. What's more? I say you had a solid motive to frame my client for murder as well. My apologies for running on the defense as mere revelry. But you seem to have forgotten one very important point. Oh really? The TV footage. As you can clearly see, Mr. Family was on the stage the whole time. The entire audience can bear witness to that fact, including you. Oh yeah. You have just taken a long and senseless journey only to return to the starting line. The witness could not have been in an understage passage, which means the only one left to have killed the victim is the accused. Guess the party's over. But Mr. Fame knew something that she couldn't have known unless she was under the stage. How do you explain that, Prosecutor Samade? It's quite simple. The accused must have told Mr. Fame about it, but then forgot. Ha! Open those useless eyes of yours and take a good look at the footage. Mr. Fame really was in the understage passage. It would mean that she was on stage and understage at the same time. It means she was in two places at once. It does seem to be the only explanation that makes any sense. Maybe an explanation, but I'm not so sure about the makes sense part. Well, then we'll have to make it make sense. Your Honor, the witness was both on stage and understage at the same time. That's the defense's assertion. I've heard some illogical things come out of you before, but this is absurd. I'm sure you'll change your tune once you hear my reasoning, Your Honor. My gut tells me you're bluffing, but I'll bite. Very well, Mr. Justice. How do you explain how the witness was in two places at once? She teleported? Huh. That could very well be it. Like what? Let's not forget that Ms. Defame's specialty is teleportation magic. Teleportation should be in two places at practically the same time. So actually teleportation exists. You're so dumb. Well, you know what magicians say about their magic. It's all real, no tricks or gimmicks involved. Well, I have listened patiently to your reasoning, and the only thing dispelled is the false air of competency you tried to project. Haha, you did that a good one, Your Honor. Ho ho ho! You might be surprised to hear this, but I be used to known as the jokester judge. Well, at least I avoided a penalty with some well-placed brown nosy. Please, let me try again, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Justice. How do you explain? There were two bodies, maybe? There were two bodies, Your Honor. If that were the case, it would make sense, wouldn't it? There were two of them? I suspect you had a few screws loose, but now I see some are missing altogether. Is there a toolkit in this courtroom, Your Honor? I suppose 2, no, 3 screws to the head would righten this putrid brain. Very well, bailiff. No, wait, please, listen to my argument. Very well. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to at least give it a listen. As was argued earlier, Miss DeFemme was shown in the footage the whole time, but at the same time she was also watching Miss Wright in the understage passage. The only possible explanation is that there are 2 bodies. That sounds almost like it makes sense. What do you think, Prosecutor Samade? This humble servant of the Holy Mother is of the opinion that we should lose no time in replacing the defense to many lost screws. But Apollo, it goes against testifying itself, reality itself, to say the person is actually 2. But we don't have to be bound by reality. After all, we're talking about magic here. So if Bonnie DeFemme is in the footage is the real Bonnie, the Bonnie here on the witness stand, the one who must have been under stage, this Bonnie DeFemme is our second Bonnie. She is? Say we call the one in front of us Bonnie number 2. I believe I have just a piece of evidence that proves that a Miss Bonnie number 2 exists. Oh, then please submit your evidence. The freak? The fingerprints? Because there was a fingerprint on top that didn't exactly match anything. Or could it be this? I'm gonna say this. Take that! What's this? During our investigation, we found a set of unknown prints on the coffin on stage. These prints were most likely left during the course of the show. But they didn't match the prints of any of the people involved in this case. An unknown third party's fingerprints? I was not told of this. I must have kept it from him. So the question is, who could these prints possibly belong to? Miss DeFemme, or should I say Bonnie number 2? These are your fingerprints, aren't they? Satanaya! Enough of this foolishness! One person could not possibly be 2. These fingerprints could have been left not only during the show, but at any time. It's not like you lose your cool like that, Prosecutor Samade. I'm sure you know that exactly when the fingerprints were made is not the main issue. What do you mean by that, Mr. Justice? The issue is who do these fingerprints belong to? They're certainly not Bonnie DeFemme's. But what if they belong to the person standing right in front of us? Oh, you mean Bonnie number 2 is the second Bonnie? Is that what you're implying? It's preposterous to suggest that those prints belong to the witness. I say they must belong to some other unknown individual. Prosecutor Samade, can you really look at her and still say that? What are you looking at? Take a picture, it'll last longer. How could this be? If we check her prints, I'm sure they'll match the unknown set. Well, Bonnie, the prints that don't belong to the real you belong to you, don't they? Bonnie number 2. Order, order, order. Witness. Is that what the defense has said is true? Fine, I'll admit it. Those prints are mine. Does that mean you aren't Bonnie DeFemme? What? Ridiculous! Are there really 2 Bonnies? Nope, there's only 1 Bonnie. That's because I'm Betty. Betty DeFemme. What? Ladies and gentlemen of the court, it's time for a wondrous magic show. Gasping the amazement of this lagomorphine illusionist performs her teleportation magic. Watch closely, it's showtime! I'm watching, I don't see that. Excuse me. There were two of you, buddy. Buddy? No, Betty, bro.
What an amazing trick! The witness has suddenly split into two people.
It's not a trick, no gimmick to it either. We're simply twins. What? Twins? So that's how the teleportation trick works. Ever since our debut, I've had to hide or pretend I'm Bonnie. All cute and sweet and goody good. I can't tell you how stressful it's been. But I don't have to hide anymore. That's right. Our days sneaking around are finally over. Their cover is blown, but they actually seem pretty happy about it. So which one of you is the nice Bonnie de Femme we met in the dressing room? That would be me. And the sharp-tongued Bonnie we saw with the Ray's Raja on her stage was... Hey, who are you calling sharp-tongued? It's all starting to make sense now.
So, Mr. Justice, it changes the fact of the case rather dramatically, doesn't it?
It certainly does. During the show, it was Bonnie who was on stage the whole time. So Bonnie couldn't have committed the crime. But Betty, on the other hand, who was on stage, did have the opportunity.
Well, so now we have two suspects?
Wait just a minute there, Lobster Boy. I didn't do it. That's right, Betty might have a foul mouth, but she never killed anybody. Hey, who's got a foul mouth here? Oh, well, speak up, huh?
Hold it!
Please, save your sibling squabbling for later. Betty, you must have been in the understage passage during the show. Otherwise, you wouldn't have known about the stage lifts being moved. So what exactly were you doing down there? Fine, I'll testify. Anything to get you off my back.
Prosecutor summoned. Betty de Femme is ready to testify. What do you say?
Oops.
Betty, you lied to this humble servant of the Holy Mother.
Hey, what else could I do? I couldn't blow our cover and ruin our magic act. Besides, I'm going to do your Twilight Hell or whatever for being a liar.
You will indeed. However, I won't be after your death. Rather, I shall give you a taste of your punishment on this mortal coil in interrogation hell. Now then, Betty de Femme, please explain to this court what exactly you were doing under the stage.
Bro, we don't need both of you at the stand, bro. One of you can leave. Bonnie, you can leave, bro. We don't need your testimony. It's true, I had a business in the understage passage because of the upcoming trick. It's the fire trick, right? The one Mr. Ray is supposed to do? That's right. It's a very dangerous trick, so I had to make sure we were prepared for it. It was in the script, but I really wanted to see it, but I couldn't because of the accident. Shut up. You're gonna give it away anyways. It was real busy. Yeah, way too busy to have the chance to kill Mr. Reyes.
Well, that was certainly different.
How's that for a flawless testimony and alibi?
Bro, we don't need you guys teleporting, bro.
Our magic is real. It's not a trick or a gimmick.
Oh my, she's floating.
Your Honor, are you a dumbass? She's clearly holding the other one up. You can see she's being held from below. You're supposed to pretend you didn't see it. See that? It's called something like etiquette. But I can't help it. Whenever I see a contradiction or inconsistency, I have to point it out.
Now then, the defense may begin its cross-examination.
Sure, bro. Let's see the contradictions. I didn't really see anything like in there. Okay, we got the Lego version. Okay. Do. Okay, it's true. I had business in the understage passage because of the oncoming trick. It's a fire trick, right? That's right. It's very dangerous, so I had to make hard prepared for it. And you were taking every necessary precaution, isn't that right? Of course, every precaution. After all, it's a very dangerous trick that uses real fire. I mean, we had to be ready in the case to turn the curtain caught on fire or something, right? By the time people realized it wasn't part of the act, it might be too late, huh? If by people you mean Athena Sykes, then yes.
Wow, a fire trick. That sounds really impressive.
Yeah, your beard would go up in smoke, old man. I bet people would mistake you for a cue ball.
Cue ball.
Betty, don't be rude to the judge. Betty, you know that fire trick? It was great, but I really wanted it. The bucket wasn't prepared for it, though. That's the thing.
Objection!
I hate to break this to you, Betty, but there's a big flaw in your testimony. As big as the one in that floating trick you did earlier. Oh, harsh words. Well, let me tell you something, forehead boy. Bro, my forehead isn't that big, bro. It's not that big. No one has ever figured out how we do our teleportation trick. No one except me, you mean? Well, we have the better tricks up our sleeves. Oh, we do? What the fuck? I tried to keep it zipped. No, don't fight, you two. Mr. Justice, what is this about flaw in testimony? The script has this about the fire trick. This is a very dangerous. Make sure the fire bucket is ready. However, we found the fire bucket lying empty backstage except for a layer of dust. Oh no. Oh. You didn't even attempt to get ready for the next trick, did you, Betty? You got me. Baby defendant, you will explain yourself. There's nothing to explain. Come on, Betty. We can't hide it any longer. We might as well tell them. Shut up! You can barely take care of yourself. Don't try and tell me what to do. Well, if neither of you will explain, I guess I'll have to. The reason she knew the show wouldn't go off. The show wouldn't go on. You didn't prepare for the fire trick because you knew, didn't you? You knew that the body would be found and the show would then be cancelled. Don't be ridiculous, you insignificant speck of a man. You gonna yank those lame bangs of yours off? Is that what you want, huh? First of all, they ain't lame, buddy. My forehead's small. Oh, whatever, they can grow back. Now stop stalling and tell us the truth already. I can't reveal my secret, I'm a magician. You have been chasing the shadow of an illusionary culprit, Defense. And having chanced up a convenient target, you have let yourself get carried away. Exactly. Where's your proof, huh? And yet, I can see that the witness's taste for false words has also been proven. I advise you to confine your deceitful trickery into your magic act, witness. Deceitful trickery. As your coin-appointed therapist, I'd like you to add something here, Bonnie. Betty, you finally let yourself be who you really are. And if you continue to hide behind your lies, you'll be just impersonating your heart all over again. But all these questions mean you're trying to pull me and put me in prison for real. So I'll be behind bars either way. Does that mean you're admitting your guilt?
Of course not. I can't believe you people. Every one of you thinks I did something I didn't do. You...
Lobster boy. Cue ball, geezer.
Head case, brat. Oh. Cue ball, geezer. Head case, brat. Cerebus monk. You just insult all of us? And they were probably one of the worst insults you could ever use.
Cue ball, geezer.
Head case, brat? Really? Betty, calm down. Come on now. Deep breaths, deep breaths. Look, I'm not the murderer, I tell you. Then how did you know the show would be called off before the fire trick? I told you, we can't reveal our secrets. We're under contract. Contract? What is she talking about? Be that as it may, you're obviously a suspect in this case. Are you gonna do your little spell?
I'm beginning to see the ceramic threads that make up the intricate tapestry that is this case. Huh? Allow me to summarize your assertions, Defense. First, that the victim was killed in the understage passage, and second, that the witness and the accused are the only two who could have done it.
Exactly. What's more, Betty knew that the body would be found, and that the magic show would then be called off. Therefore, it's reasonable to conclude that Betty killed the victim on her stage.
But what if Betty knew that the show would be called off for some other reason?
Like what?
In the course of my investigation, I found it strange that the dragon set piece fell when it did. That, in conjunction with the body tumbling from the coffin in such dramatic fashion, all seemed too perfect for mere happenstance. It was as though the entire chain of events had been planned out in advance.
Yeah. Oh.
Planned out? After deciding to take this case,
Bro, these guys be using too many big words, bro. Like I said, I have a 3rd grade reading level where you can't use all these big words, bro. That's why I can't read.
I scrumptiously studied everything I could about the mass media in this country. I read the newspaper or news reports. I even browse tabloid magazines. How very industrious of you. I'm impressed. During this process, I learned about a strange practice favored in the TV world. What a whack world. The practice called hidden camera prank. Betty and Bonnie knew about this, did you not? About the dead body appearing, the set piece falling, and the show being suspended. You two were informed of this plan by Tech2 TV in advance, correct?
Is that true?
Betty, please, let's tell them now. I can't hold it in forever.
Dang it. Fine, you got us. Everything the prosecutor said is true. The TV station paid us to cooperate with them on this plan. It was all a prank, a big setup planned out in advance. Mr. Reyes showing up dead in the coffin? The set piece falling down? It was all completely scripted. It was all a prank? No, that wasn't no freaking prank, buddy.
Bonnie, is this really true?
Yes, Mr. Reyes was supposed to pretend to be dead. That's how it was supposed to go. So he was in on it too. That's right, he was supposed to show up dead in the coffin. And then the set piece would fall down. Trucy would be shocked and start to panic. That's how the prank script went. What? What kind of prank is that? But we never thought he'd actually wind up dead. Yeah, that was the only thing that was different from the script. Poor Mr. Reyes. So completely lost right now.
Well, Betty and Bonnie, it certainly sounds like you have some explaining to do.
Alright. I guess desperate times call for desperate measures. This once we'll share how it was done with you. So listen carefully, you'll never hear this kind of thing anywhere else. You have a bat and she has a rabbit. Tell me how this prank went. With our teleportation trick, it went down on her stage. When Mr. Reyes' body appeared from the coffin on stage, it was time for Betty to do her job in the understage passage. Was that Bonnie saying that? Oops. That's right, I used the remote control for the winch connected to the dragon set piece. It made it fall down. And just before the dragon fell, I called Trucy to the backstage so she wouldn't get hurt. After that, the plan was for Mr. Reyes to come back to life in front of a panicked Trucy, who was supposed to laugh and fly up and away. That was how it was scripted anyway. But for some reason, he really did turn up dead, so he kind of just stayed on the ground. What kind of sick joke is that?
It sounds like a terribly mean-spirited prank to me. The poor defendant was trying to do her magic show.
I guess so. Sorry, Trucy. Whatever. It was all the ratings Raja's idea anyway. Yeah, sounds like just the kind of thing a guy like him would come up with. This is the prank plan script we got from Ratings Raja. Dang it. You made us break our contract, now we won't get paid.
But where does this all leave us? Who killed the victim, and when? Yes, exactly. Those are the key questions. If Mr. Reyes was only pretending to be dead in the coffin as a part of the prank, then when he was on the stage, there would still be life within him. If that is the case, then Betty, who was also on the stage, may have been excluded from our list of suspects. Witness, was the victim alive up until he entered the coffin?
Oh, well, now that we spilled the beans, we might as well show you this video. A video?
Greetings, viewers. It is I, the great Mr. Reyes. We are currently in the middle of Chusey's escape trick, having snuck through the underground passage undetected, and now I'm hiding backstage, preparing to play a little prank on Chusey. I'm about to hide in the coffin, which Chusey will stab with her rubber sword, and when the coffin opens, oh, I will be in it, acting as though I've met my maker. Can you imagine the look of Chusey's face then? Oh, I can hardly wait.
He's about to hide in the coffin?
It would seem the threads of karmic destiny have led us to the truth. The victim passed through the understage where Betty the Femme was, and came up to the backstage area. We know this because Mr. Reyes appeared to be backstage when he shot the video we saw.
It appears that way, yes.
In defense, you proposed the following, did you not? What if the victim was killed under the stage before being put into the coffin? But then what about this video? This footage was taken just before Mr. Reyes entered the coffin. Oh, so does that mean... Yes, it is horrible but true. The tragedy did indeed play out right there on the stage. Went into the coffin where Mr. Reyes was hiding. Chusey Wright thrust her blade.
No, that was the rubber one. And then when Chusey went backstage, freaking Raiden's Roger, whatever the frick that dude's name is, stabbed him.
So you're saying the incident was a tragic accident that happened during a prank? It would be an accident if the accused had no knowledge of the prank beforehand. So let's ask the accused herself, Miss Wright. Did you have any prior knowledge of the prank?
What? Tell him the truth, you didn't know anything about it, right? Of course I didn't. I didn't know a single thing about it.
So you're lying. Still think you can play innocent, do you? In that case, you leave me no little choice but to present this piece of evidence. Looks like some kind of note. I found this note in the dressing room after the incident. At the time, I did not understand what it meant, but it is all clear to me now.
What's this?
Let's see, it says, get the video camera after Mr. Reyes comes tumbling down. There's a note signed by the accused, instructing Bonnie to collect the Mr. Reyes' video camera from him, it seems.
But if that was in the what? Hold on. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make any sense. If the video was in the act of him doing it, like literally just a second before he about to do it, how would Shruti have known beforehand? If the video wasn't even recorded yet, what? Are you an idiot? I found it in the dressing room before the show. When I saw it, I realized that Shruti knew about the prank.
This is Bear's signature. I'll give you that much.
It could have also been something that this was used for. This no, not show script. The clipboard.
So the defendant had prior knowledge of the prank. Would appear so, yes. When she learned about the plan to trick her, she decided to use it to her own advantage. So she thrust the steel sword into the coffin where the victim stood, chuckling to himself. Is that not what happened, Miss Wright?
Of course not. I didn't write or sign any of that note.
Ah, but the handwriting matches yours. All the evidence and testimony points to you being the culprit.
But I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
Silence. Then explain the existence of this note. You can do that, can you not?
I can't explain. I didn't write it, so I don't understand. I didn't kill Mr. Reyes. And then I don't even know what the frick I wrote because the freaking text got skipped somehow. What did she say? What did she say after she said I didn't kill Mr. Reyes? The sounds is deafening. What did she say? You have to believe me? Continue struggling against the threads of your own karma if you wish, accused. Even as you are incapably sought of in favor. I don't even know what that meant. I don't know what that means. Mr. Wright, it is time to resign yourself to your fate. No, I didn't do it. Ha! I knew it. That sweet-looking girl? A murderer? She took all of us in with that act of hers. I told you, I knew she was a homicidal little witch from the start. I didn't do it. I really didn't. Why doesn't anybody believe me? Shut up, you killer! You won't bother anymore! This is bad. Your Honor, I suggest we put an end to this tragedy now. Give your official ruling and let's hear the victim's soul the last rights it deserves. Very well. I suppose I have no other choice. Objection! This court here... Your defense has an objection. Apollo. You? Even now you would... Hey bro, we still gotta question Raiden's Raja, you know. It was his prank after all. I won't give up, and I refuse to let either of them down. Mr. Wright was counting on me, and Trucy is putting all of her faith in me. Mr. Justice, the fact that you've raised an objection means that you have evidence with which to refute the prosecution's claims, correct? Yes, of course, Your Honor. Do we really have anything, Apollo? Actually, we do. There's one piece of evidence we can present here. Very well, Mr. Justice, you may proceed. As we saw in the show footage, there's no question that the defendant thrust the sword into the coffin. The defense dispute this point. But let's not forget this was a magic show filled with tricks and illusions. We can't take everything we see at face value. So you're saying that some sleight of hand was somehow involved? Yes, the defense contends that the sword the defendant used was not the cause of death. Now what was Trucy told me she did just before she thrust the sword into the coffin? Very well, let's see your evidence then, Mr. Justice. But remember, you interrupted my verdict to make this claim. It will be... Dang, 3! That's fine, Your Honor. This shows that it's possible that the sword of Mrs. Wright was not the cause of death. The rubber sword? I'm assuming it's the rubber sword. I don't really know that.
Take that!
Take that! What's this? A sword from the show. That's right, Your Honor. This rubber sword was in the sword stand on her stage. During the trick, Miss Wright was supposed to swap the real sword for a rubber sword. And she told us on record that she remembers very clearly that she did. I see, so the sword that the defendant thrust into the coffin was a rubber sword, was it? And why was a steel sword found lying on the stage? Somebody must have put the steel sword there by swapping it with the rubber one. Just after the incident occurred, the dragon set piece fell, and the theater was evacuated. The real culprit must have used the resulting chaos to swap the rubber sword for the real one. Do you not know when to give up, stink bug? That is not possible. Blood was found on the coffin hole that the sword was thrust into. It must have been left there when the accused drew the sword. This is incontrovertible proof that the sword she used was the steel one. I don't even know what the frick incontrovertible means.
Objection!
But that blood could be the result of someone tampering with the crime scene after the fact. After the set piece fell and the audience was cleared out of the theater. There was plenty of time for somebody to plant that blood there. The rubber sword the accused used was a rubber one. Then when exactly they proposed the victim was killed, given that Mr. Reyes was alive when they entered the coffin? Finding the answer to that question is precisely why we need to continue this trial.
Let me express my opinion. By all accounts, it is certainly reasonable to suspect the defendant based on the evidence. But as the question of whether the sword the defendant used rubber or steel, I believe further discussion is warranted. Suggest we hear from the defendant herself on this issue. Very well, Your Honor.
Yes, I saved it somehow. Too close for comfort, but still.
Let's adjourn for a brief 15-minute recess. I advise the prosecution and the defense use this time to prepare.
Oh, that was hairy. Tell me about it. We barely made it through by the skin of my teeth. I can't say I'm crazy about that prosecutor's Samade either. You know, the way he says let it go or move on as if it's nothing.
Let it go and move on, huh?
Whoa, boy, am I interrupting some secret conclave of villains or something?
Got your next evil scheme in the works already.
What do you want?
Keep making that face, champ. And everybody's gonna change to the channel. Look this way, Trucy. Now smile for the camera. Let's see those pearly whites. Isn't that what the grammar creed tells you to do?
How would you know that?
How does it feel, Trucy? Everyone online can't stop talking about you. They're calling you a real witch out there. This could be the end of the true grammar.
Go away, you creep!
What's this? Something just changed. Charge into frame. Looks like a yellow gorilla or something. Could it be Trucy's pet?
Filming and prohibited inside the courtroom. Do you want me to get the bailiff?
Whoa there, huh? Filming? What are you talking about? Why do you have a camera on me?
Huh? What happened to the camera? It just disappeared right before our very eyes.
I'll be enjoying the rest of the Trucy show from the gallery. I thought I'd call for Trucy's fans to come and support her earlier, by the way. Bet I'll get some great footage out of them. This is gonna be good. Hang loose, baby.
Ooh, that catchphrase ain't catching on, bro. No, that catchphrase is whack. Get it out of here, please. You called in some of Trucy's fans? For what purpose? Apollo, I think Mr. Breton has just said that was some high-level sleight of hand.
Huh?
Why would he know how to do something like that? I don't know, but he definitely has some serious magic skills. No way, but I thought he said magicians were all a bunch of good-for-nothings. Mr. Lawyer? Oh, hello, Bonnie. Can I help you with something?
Well, there's something that's been bothering me.
Really? What is it?
Well, you see...
Hey, dummy, what are you whispering to Lobster Boy about?
Betty?
Who the heck do you think you are? Are you crazy? You want a piece of this? You know you have to talk about to me first before you do or say anything, you harebrain.
But...
Shut your mouth, you dumb bunny. Come with me now. Bro, somebody always gotta ruin the freaking information I'm about to get. I wonder what was bothering her. There's no way of finding that out with Betty constantly hovering over her like that.
Court is now reconvened.
Will you be alright testifying? Yes, it's just I wonder what Mr. Retness has up his sleeve. I doubt he's bringing in actual fans. Yeah, probably not. I wonder what he has up his sleeve too. You better not be trying to get into Trucy's skin right now of all times. You're Trucy Wright and you'll be fine. There goes Apollo with his best trick. That's right. Whenever I'm feeling down, I always tell myself I'm fine. Alright, I'll give it a try. I'm Trucy Wright and I'm fine. Thanks, Polly. I think I can do this now. That a girl. Good luck up there on the stand. You'll do great. Thanks, I'll be fine. I can do this. Alright, Justice. You can do this too. Tend to focus on the rest of the trial. April 28th. The courthouse number 6. Or courtroom number 6.
Court is now in session. Defendant, please step up to the witness stand.
Trucy Wright, magician. Here comes the liar. Throw the murderer in jail. The last member of that criminal troupe.
Boo! We don't want to see you on stage. Order, order, order. The gallery will be quiet, or I will have you all thrown out on the spot.
What's with the hecklers? Bet they're the fans Mr. Retina's invited. What a grade A jerk. Well, he's not going to psych us out.
Now then, Miss Wright, this court would like to know if you switched from the steel sword to a rubber one on stage. Please testify about this issue.
Shut up, man.
I said order! Silence, all of you. I won't tell you again. Miss Wright, do you feel able to testify?
Yes, I'm fine, Your Honor. Juicy, I knew I shouldn't have let her go through with this. I'd like to make a small request. How about instead of testifying with words? I'll show you exactly what happened. Would that be alright, Your Honor? You can witness my stupendous sword switching magic and judge for yourself. Despite her everything, she's still smiling. Our Trucy's amazing, isn't she?
She sure is.
She's doing just fine up there. A true entertainer always keeps a smile on their face. She's faithfully following the troop grammar's creed even now. She really is something else. It's showtime for Magician's Girl Trucy Wright. Watch carefully now, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, please focus your attention to this sword. Allow me to demonstrate just how sharp this blade truly is. Okay, yeah, we can see it pierces an apple. See that? No tricks or gimmicks, a very sharp sword indeed. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, watch as I take this sword and... Presto Sordo! There, I switched it. And now... Hup! When did the switch happen? Hold up. You gotta do it for me again. Simon C. Not shit switch. As you see, the blade is not steel, but rubber. What? You switched it out? You just did a little twirl. Wow, she really switched it out. I can see her do it at all. She clearly turned the room around. The hecklers are being drowned by all the cheering.
Where did the steel sword vanish off to, Miss Wright? In order to deepen our understanding of the case, please tell us if you would. I'm not asking out of mere curiosity, just you know.
I usually hide the steel sword backstage when I switch them during the show.
So when you thrust the rubber sword into the coffin, the steel sword wasn't even on stage, but behind the curtain?
Exactly. You see, there is a trick and gimmick to it after all. As for where the steel sword went when I performed the trick just now, it's a secret. I don't want to spoil the magic for you now, would I?
Ho ho ho.
That is our Trucy.
Yeah, still.
Miss Wright? That part where you just spun around. That's an actual part of the sword switching trick you did do for the show, right? Right, the other parts like an apple were just to help my explanation here in court. It's funny, I think I found an inconsistency in her testimony. Looks like I'm not the only one. I don't know what it is doing there, but now I found it, I have to get to the bottom of it. What?
But try not to ask dumb questions and spoil this wondrous magic.
That's supposed to be my cross-examination. Yeah? You didn't switch anything, man. This one does a little spin. Huh? Are we supposed to watch the tape? Hold up. Bro, why'd I have to freaking rewatch this? I'm just gonna speed it up, man. She really spin. We're gonna say that. That's the inconsistency, I'm gonna say.
Objection!
Yeah, she didn't spin. That's right, there's something I'd like to confirm with you. What is it, Apollo? There seems to be a discrepancy between the way you performed the trick for us just now and the way it appears in the show footage. What? That can't be. I performed exactly the same way both times. Then, what's going on here? Miss Wright, I have the show footage right here, and the part where you twirl your cape around is missing from it. What? But I did it. So, it really is the exact moment you switch the swords? Yes, that's right. I knew it.
Oh, you're a dumbass. Well, I certainly never expected the defense to expose the accused lie for me. Mr. Justice, does it mean that you are arguing that the defendant did not swap the swords during the actual magic show?
No, Your Honor, that wasn't what my intention. I mean, I did swap them. I know I did. I'm absolutely sure of it.
Human memory is unreliable at best, but in this case, I am afraid that it is the witness herself who cannot be trusted. We can see the footage for ourselves. The claims of this witness are false. But no. Now that it has been proven that the accused did not swap the swords, it means that the use of the steel sword for the pierce of the coffin was wholly intentional. And by the way, it was not you, Mr. Justice, who argued that Mr. Reyes' death was not an accident but murder. I assume you have no objections to that still. It was, after all, your own assertion. The defense,
Objection!
Defense has an objection to you, Mr. Apollo Justice. I demand you withdraw the discrepancy you pointed out just now. But there is a discrepancy, and it must mean something. I'm sure of it.
Order, order, order. Will the defense team kindly save their spat until the court is adjourned? Now, after all this debate, it seems we've come back around to the original argument. The defendant knew about the prank plan that would place the victim inside the coffin. What more, the defendant did not perform the sword-pushing trick on stage. Through her actions, it seems I have come to see the true intentions of the accused. Her murderous intentions. It's such a shame.
But I didn't switch the swords, I swear.
You're knee-deep in now, Justice.
Phoenix? What?
Excuse me.
Let's see, you were, which one are you again? Benny? No, that's the sound right. Body?
It's, Bonnie. You're mixing the two names together, Your Honor.
Oh, pardon me. Do you have something to say, you wish to say, Bonnie?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to testify.
About what?
The more I think about it, the less possible it seems. I don't believe Juicy killed Mr. Reyes.
Bonnie? Hey, what's the big idea?
Such an incredibly gifted and talented magician would never commit murder. I refuse to believe it.
What are you talking about, you hair-brained hair? You still keep your trap shut. I got a bag full of baby carrots for you, so chew on those and pipe down.
No, I won't be quiet.
What's the matter with you? Didn't you hear me?
Susie said something to me once.
Huh?
She said no matter how scared you get, no matter how people are mean to you, you can't give in or give up. That's what being a professional magician is all about. Isn't that right, Juicy?
That's right, Bonnie.
I've always been afraid to stand up to Betty. Afraid to defy her, so I did what she said. But then I saw Juicy today. She gave me strength.
Yeah, we seen this. Yeah, they were freaking yelling at her, and she was still smiling and whatever.
Yeah, but we see this already, man.
Seeing her courage, the way she kept smiling despite everything, she's just incredible. I'm not gonna run away, I'm scared, but for once, I'm going to be brave.
What have you done to my sister, Trucy Wright? You practically brainwashed her. It's the power of Juicy's conviction. That's what it is. It touched Bonnie's heart.
Yeah, Trucy really is one magical girl.
Bonnie, is the topic of your testimony related to that one thing that was bothering you? The thing you tried to tell us about in the lobby during recess?
Yes, ever since I saw the show footage, something's been nagging me. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but something is off. I feel like something about it is different from what I saw on the stage.
What do you mean by that, Bonnie?
I wonder if that's what's shown on TV is really the same as what happened on stage.
Objection!
Were they recording like one of the practices, maybe?
Of course it is. The show has always been performed once, after all. It can't show anything other than what happened on the stage yesterday.
Bonnie's testimony deserves our attention. We have to examine it.
But what can we check it against? Do you have some other footage of the show?
Well,
I have some show footage.
you do?
One of the TV station's cameramen said he was a fan of mine. He kept his camera on me throughout the entire show. And afterwards, he gave me the footage he shot as a present.
He did?
To tell you the truth, I thought it was kind of creepy, so I was going to get rid of it.
Please submit that footage to the court.
Now then, let's take a look at this new footage.
Alright, let's look at it. She was on the wrong side. Oh, okay, buddy. Alright, but what are we doing right now? This looks exactly like what happened. Cards? I don't think that was in the original thing. Wow, okay then.
He really did keep a camera on Bonnie the whole time, didn't he?
I think this cameraman needs to keep his personal feelings out of his work.
Well, defense, do you still believe this new footage is worth inspecting?
Of course I do. Okay, so how are we gonna go about this? Let's try comparing the two. We might just find an inconsistency between them. An inconsistency, huh? Yes, two pieces of footage are of the same scene then, so they should match up. But Bonnie felt there was something off about the original footage. So if we can pick out what's different between the two, you know what Bonnie found strange? Exactly. Plus we may figure out why the original doesn't show the sword swinging trick. Your Honor, the defense would like to compare these two pieces of footage.
Very well, I will allow it. What a waste of time.
Apollo, do you know how to compare the two pieces of footage? No, I've never done it before. I'll give you a little lesson then. Use the video player's buttons to go through the footage. Bro, finally, man! Oh, by the way, if you fast forward or rewind and pause the playback button paused, you can do a slow frame-by-frame playback. Okay, so how do I switch between the two videos? Just use the camera button, L1. If you find a difference between the two pieces of footage, put the cursor over what's different and press present in the court. Thanks, Athene, you really know your stuff. Not really, I just gave some gusto and then went with my gut on most of it. What?
I sure hope she guessed right.
Let's give it a try. Fast forward. Okay. No, it's okay. To the okay. Okay, you want case A. Okay, matches up, okay. That's okay. Is it right hands? Yes, right hands, okay. Okay. Look, there's a difference in the right here. What? I don't know. I think it's different though. It's a thing. Let's talk about this. All focus on juicing. No. So you can find yourself, maybe. I think it's the same. Bro, what? What? You know, just thinking is like, what? Here, leg match. Make sure you smile on both of them, okay? I'll close both of them, okay? What? I should just drink or something. Yo, I got mine. You're different? You're the same. Can't see the shadow either. It looks like nothing, like cartridge or anything. You ever seen another thing? What? What? I think it's before. I don't know. I don't know. Yo, what? Buddy. I see no cards, bro. You can't save either, bro. Just dumb. Bro, how's that difference? Bro, there's no cards on the wheel. There's cards on the wheel. What are we on about? What are we on about, bro? Bro, I'm not gonna cheat, bro. I don't freaking. I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. I'll be back. Bro, I didn't know you had to freaking have the kosher over it.
Take that!
This is it right here. Take a good look at the scene and compare it to the video shot from the front. Oh, the playing cards don't appear in the video shot from the front. Hey, you're right. What's going on here? Ms. Wright, what can you tell us about these playing cards? Oh, those? Those are the cards I threw when I did the sword switching trick. What? Mr. Justice, does this mean... Yes, it means the sword switching trick was cut from the TV show footage. So the footage was edited. Yes, with malicious intent. That is absurd. Well, we must get to the bottom of this right away. Bailiff, the TV station might still have the unedited footage. Go see what you can find out. Yes, Your Honor. Who said hold it? I know that wasn't Phoenix. Get this man's feet off my screen, bro. It's you. Now hold up, Your Honor. This is all a big misunderstanding. Believe you and me. Give a guy a chance to defend himself before you start pointing fingers. And who might you be? Right. Sorry about that. Got ahead of myself there. Here's my business card. Charmed to make your acquaintance, Your Honor. Oh, well, how very polite of you. It's lovely meeting you too, Prosecutor Samade. Please take my card. Business card. Oh yes, I've read about this custom being among businessmen in this country. I have even familiarized myself with the various replies. How do you do, good sir, or what's crack-a-laggin', homie, for example? Oh, you're from Take-Two TV, are you witness? Come to think of it, I believe I've seen you on television before. Yes, Roger Retness, otherwise known as Ratings Raja. He is a TV producer and appears on many of his own shows as of late. He is best known for his catchphrase, hang loose baby, which will honestly never catch on. Oh my, so you're the Ratings Raja? Hang loose, judgy baby. Nice courtroom you got here. I never thought I'd meet you in person. But Prosecutor Sama did. How do you know so much about him? In preparation for the case, I watched all of his shows. I found the Ratings Raja Goes to Burger Barn of particular interest. It inspired me to visit that restaurant straight away to learn more about the local cuisine. What? You went to Burger Barn? Who would have thought? Well, you must have really wanted to try it, huh, buddy? Because that line, whew. Compared to my aesthetic training, an hour's wait is nothing. I recommend the Southwestern Burger with jalapeno jack cheese, by the way. I'm having a really hard time picturing him line for burgers. Prosecutor someday. Unexpected enthusiasm for food aside. Ms. Retness, what is this misunderstanding you mentioned? Well, for starters, it's true that the footage was edited. You'll get your hands on this anyway, so I might as well show you the unedited footage. It was a pretty long video, so I'll just show you the part with the playing card. You can see the cards when Trucy spins around, so keep your eyes peeled. Did you see the part that was cut where Trucy switched the swords? She spins around and the playing cards go flying, everything like it's supposed to. Then it seems the defendant really did swap swords during the trick, which means the sword Miss Wright thrust into the coffin was the rubber one. In other words, Miss Wright couldn't have killed Mr. Reyes. Yeah, see, that's the first misunderstanding right there. What do you mean? Well, Trucy definitely did swap swords as you saw. So yeah, maybe she didn't kill Mr. Reyes when she stabbed the coffin, but that just means he was killed after he showed up pretending to be a corpse. So you're saying that up until that point, everything was going according to the script? If that's true, then how exactly do you think he was killed? Well, what does the script say? Hold on. Mr. Reyes' body will appear in the supposedly empty coffin, which should cause a big ruckus. After capturing a bit of Trucy's reaction on film, Mr. Reyes will come back to life, laughing and flying up into the air, causing another round of surprise. It was after the dragon set piece came crashing down. I say Trucy murdered Mr. Reyes when she was hidden from the view of the public. She could have easily done it behind that huge dragon, and nobody would be wiser. Sorry. I see. Indeed, there is a ring of truth to your assertion. You bet. Plus, the suspicious-looking shadow in the footage, too. It's towards the end of the footage, just before the dragon hits the stage. It might be easier to just see it for yourselves. Yeah, a shadow that goes out, like, literally directly before the freaking dragon falls. Or I think at the time the dragon falls. It's only for a split second, so it's hard to catch, but look here. Yeah, I see that. This suspicious shadow must be Trucy. She's using the steel sword she hid behind the curtain during the trick to kill the victim. She literally ran off, like... she ran off out of frame, like, 3 seconds ago. You think she freaking flew up, freaking... What?
Objection!
This witness is just trying to ram his theory down our throats, Your Honor. That's not at all. That's not all. Aren't we forgetting? The witness willfully edited the sword switch out of the footage. You see, there's your second misunderstanding right there. Your Honor, would you mind if I testified about it? I've seen people testify on TV and I've always wanted to give it a shot. That would be fine with me, Prosecutor Samade. This is quite unexpected. It threatens to disrupt the karmic course of this case. Hey, lighten up, pretty boy. You're gonna like what I've got to say, promise. Very well. However, if you do anything to impede the last rights of the victim, I will have you removed. Alright, with Prosecutor Samade's permission, please give us your testimony, Mr. Retness. Roger Retness, the reigning Raja, now Kaiser of the courtroom. I'm deciding to take over the floor, so listen up, loyal viewers. It wasn't deliberate, I tell you. Footage is meant to be edited, I tell you. Scenes are spliced together and long or boring scenes are cut out. All the stations edited footage this way. It wasn't like it was done maliciously or something. It was just a coincidence that particular scene was cut. It wasn't intentional. Or what? You got some proof that I had an ulterior motive for editing that footage? I see. So you're saying it was a coincidence that the sword swapping scene was cut. That's right. Glad you got the picture. Coincidence? That's all just a little too convenient if you ask me. Oh, and an objection. How cool. Sure packs a lot more punches than you hear it live. Do that again. I want to get another shot for a different angle. My objection is not for your entertainment. And cut. There, I got some good stuff there. Mr. Retness, filming is prohibited inside the courtroom. Oops, my bad, Judge. And if the defense has an issue, we can point it out during its cross-examination. Okay, any proof that it was deliberate? Maybe that?
Objection!
No. Did I save? Okay. Thank God. Maybe this?
Objection!
Nope. Don't save, but load. Load that right there. Yes, sir. Look, we only have 2 lives left, bro. I'm not trying to risk nothing, man.
Hold it!
What other scenes did you cut from the footage? Huh? Oh, no others, I guess. You mean you only edited out the sword switching scene and nothing else? Don't you think it's a little too much of a stretch to claim that it was merely coincidence? No matter how artificial you find the affair, Stranger Things, no Netflix, have happened on their own. That is, unless you have something with which to prove otherwise, defense. Well, you have a valid criticism of Mr. Retness' testimony. Feel free to counter it with evidence. I think the defense team needs to be edited out of this trial. That's what they need. I'll have to clean up this footage later. He isn't really going to put this on TV, is he? Trying to prove malicious intent is tough. All he has to do is say it was all a coincidence. We need to find some kind of foothold if we want to make any progress. True, but this guy doesn't seem like the type to slip up. So we just have to get the information out of him bit by bit. Alright, I guess we just have to press him then.
Hold it!
It wasn't done maliciously, huh? But I get the distinct impression that you have bare feelings of ill will towards strict grammar. Huh? What makes you think that? The thing is that you have said it yourself. You'll see. I'll dig up the dirt and expose the dark heart behind that sweet smile. I'll prove those grammar magicians are all a bunch of lowlifes. I completely forgot what voice I gave him, so I'm just gonna give him this voice. I think I did like a deep voice earlier, but I completely forgot what voice I gave. And I also get the impression that you felt this way for a long time. Words such as those can be interpreted in many different ways. For example, though I bear the defense no ill will, I would not hesitate to say that he is a good-for-nothing lout of a lawyer. You bear me no ill will? Could have fooled me. And yet, it is the truth. I am only strict on you, as it seems you have strayed from the path. If you have any objections, Mr. Justice, please make your case with the evidence in the future. Ms. Retness, please continue your testimony.
Hold it!
Of all the scenes you could have cut, why the sword switching trick? That seemed like too much of a coincidence to me. Oh, so now you're gonna tell me how I'm supposed to edit my programs, Big Shots? It's hard being the boss, kid. You gotta make the tough choices, like which content gets cut. Let me ask you this. Why exactly did you make such a tough choice in this case? You wouldn't understand, champ. It's all about artistic vision. What's trending on Twitter right now? I tell you, people, how you do your job when they don't know the first thing about it. I may not know TV, but I know evidence law. And boy, do I have something for you, champ. I might not be able to show that your selective editing was intentional. However, I think you bear the defendant ill will, and this piece of evidence proves it. I'm gonna say the grammar.
Take that!
Take that! Okay, it's probably the contract she signed. It says, hey, if she messes it up, first party will pay for all. The second party will confer all programming and broadcasting rights to the first party. If through the fault of the second party, the show must be canceled in part or in full.
Take that!
What? Oh, the prank strip.
Take that!
How would it not be the prank script? What? Clipboard? Huh? What's that you got there? This is the So I presented the contract. Why would the contract not work? This is the contract you had Miss Wright sign just before the magic show. The contract between the first party, Take-Two TV, and the second party, Miss Wright, reads, if through the fault of the second party, the show must be cancelled in part or in full. The second party will pay $3 million as compensation for the first party. For $3 million? That is a completely unreasonable sum. I couldn't agree more. Of course, Miss Wright doesn't have that kind of money. Nevertheless, Roger Wright has had her sign this unreasonable contract anyway. Or more accurately, he conned her into signing it. Conned her? How do you do that? There's a trick with the clipboard that is used by Miss Wright when signing her contract. It houses carbon paper that can secretly copy your signature onto other documents. Oh, come on now. That's quite a nasty accusation you're slinging my way. For starters, you don't even have any proof I had anything to do with that carbon paper stuff. Just because Shusi and her agency can't pay up, that doesn't mean I conned her. But $3 million, that's totally out of reach for the average person. In any case, this is important new information. Please add it to your testimony, Mr. Retinas. Where's the proof linking me to that tricked out clipboard? You don't have any, do you?
Objection!
I always say that. You must be quite the con man if you can't fool a magician with a simple trick. But if you think you can con a lawyer, you're very much mistaken. Hey kid, what are you doing? Enunciate in front of the camera? You know, like a newscaster? I'd like you to take a look at this Miss Wright's signature here on this note. Now let's compare the signature with the one here on this contract. It's in the same place. Well, look at that. They're exactly the same. That's right, Your Honor. Not just similar, but exactly the same. Anybody can sign their name in exactly the same way twice, unless it's a copy. These signatures are proof positive that you conned Miss Wright. And they definitely prove your malicious intent. Say, not bad, lawyer guy. Didn't know you had it in. This is really getting interesting now. I'll get great ratings for sure. Don't try to dodge the issue, Mr. Retinas. The fact is that you bear ill will against my clients. So the show footage was definitely edited with ill intentions, isn't that right? With a forced argument defense, all you have really proven is that it's not his ill will towards Ms. Wright, but his pecuniary greed. That's right. I just wanted money, baby. Fat stacks of cheddar, that's all. After all, I never even crossed paths with Trucy before this magic show. So I'd have absolutely no reason to bear any ill will, right? You didn't bear any ill will, huh? Fat chance this guy has definitely some major hate for Trucy. You'll see, I'll dig up the dirt and expose the dark heart behind that sweet smile. I'll prove those grammar magicians are all a bunch of lowlifes. I can't prove it with anything, but the things he said all point to the fact. There must be something between the two of them that gave birth to this grudge. Some sort of connection that not even Trucy is aware of. Your Honor, I'd like to argue that Mr. Retinas and Trucy Wright have crossed paths before. There must be some kind of hidden connection between them. Hidden? Connection? What is it now? Just what are you getting at, Mr. Justice? It's futile to even ask, Your Honor. Surely it's just another one of the defense's feckless claims.
Objection!
You don't seem to have a very high opinion of me, but once you hear my argument, you wish you'd taken me a whole lot more seriously. Will I really? Well then, do proceed. Do you figure something out, Apollo? Nope. Not a fucking thing. What? That's just some good old-fashioned bluffing, courtesy of Mr. Wright's fine training. I hope you know what you're doing. If you're going to make such a bold claim, Mr. Justice, I'll be ready to elaborate. What is his hidden connection? He's a magician too, maybe? That sleight of hand trick Mr. Retinas did during the recess earlier. Filming is prohibited inside the courthouse. What filming camera? What are you talking about? Yeah, I remember. What if Mr. Retinas is a magician too? What if? I believe it is up to the defense to fill in the blanks, not me. Well, if he is, he may have he may have some contact with Miss Wright somewhere along the way. Your arguments are hardly worth responding to. But by all means, please do continue. As a passage in the sacred scriptures of Koreanism states, he who gives a sermon to a monkey is himself a monkey. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you say to a dimwit, he isn't going to get it anyway. But we saw Mr. Retinas perform a magic trick. He made his video camera disappear in the blink of an eye. I think it would be pretty funny if I were a magician. You must have seen things. Want me to introduce you to a good eye doctor? If a connection is as tenuous as that, it is all it takes. Every magician in the world could potentially bear ill will toward the accused. I guess you're right. You're not the sharpest knife in the drawer, are you, short stuff? You would do well to cleanse the putrid mind of yours in the holy waters of Mount Poniponi. 3 days under a frigid waterfall, and even you should rise to the level of a monk. A numbskull for a numbskull. This numbskull has a thick skin, so there.
I think I get what they're driving at. If he's a magician, it's not exactly a reason to bear a grudge against Trucy, is it? Hold on, I can think of one person, one magician who has a reason to bear a grudge against Trucy. Or rather, one magician who has a reason to bear a grudge against Troop Grammar. Oh. No way.
Something wrong, Mr. Justice.
Your Honor, the defense wishes to submit evidence at this time.
I see. What sort of evidence do you have for us?
Evidence that points to the real killer. The one who had a motive to commit this crime.
What?
You never learn, do you?
What have you come up with this time, defense?
Trucy Wright is the sole heir of the Troop Grammar in its name. That puts her in the square in the crosshairs of one particular magician.
What?
Mr. Retinas? Like what? Mr. Reyes? I think that can be only one, really.
Take that!
And who exactly are your name, Mr. Justice?
13 years ago, the great Mr. Reyes belonged to the Troop Grammar. But then the troop ousted him, and Mr. Reyes vowed to get revenge on them someday. And what better way to accomplish that than through the ruination of their sole heir?
Mr. Reyes is the victim, Mr. Justice. You named the dead man as your suspect.
But is he really dead?
What do you mean, is he really dead?
The fact that Mr. Reyes is the victim is what's throwing you off. And how about we consider this possibility? What if the man who died on that stage yesterday wasn't Mr. Reyes? What? How does that make sense? You're saying this is Reyes? What? You mean the victim was an imposter?
Not Mr. Reyes. Then what about the real Mr. Reyes?
It would mean that the real Mr. Reyes is still alive.
What the fuck are you talking about? That's absurd. Order, order, order. Mr. Justice, who was the real Mr. Reyes if not the victim of this case?
It's all coming together now. I finally see the gimmick, the trick to this entire case. This should explain everything, Your Honor. The real killer, the one who hated Troop Grammar and wanted to sully its name. The magician lurking in the shadows who set up the fake Mr. Reyes in his stead. The real Mr. Reyes is... They don't even look the same now, bro. What? It's Netanyahu! That's Roger Wright, bro.
But that's...
Yes. Yes, it is. Roger Reyes. It's the real Mr. Reyes.
What?
Objection!
Oh, hello, red pepper, your important seeds sprout not but meaningless empty words. You can't possibly have proof to support such an outlandish theory.
It's not a bad idea for a soap opera. But not even die-hard fans of the genre would stick around past the pilot. You want proof? Well, I've got proof. I can prove it by proving that Mr. Reyes in yesterday's magic show was a fake. Let's do that. I just need you to look at this spot on this poster. The XX, the XX. It doesn't have it on there.
Oh! I never seen that. I didn't see that. I didn't see that before.
Take that! This is the injury Mr. Reyes sustained while practicing a magic trick 13 years ago. However, it doesn't have it in there. The video the victim shot of himself shows no trace of that injury.
Oh my, you're absolutely right.
Now, Mr. Retinas, what do you suppose we'd find if we look at your right forearm? Is there by chance a nasty 13-year-old scar in that sleeve of yours? Shit. Well, Mr. Retinas, why don't you roll up your sleeve and let the court have a look? Or are you hiding something else up there? Come on now, I have nothing up my sleeve. I don't need to hide anything there because I require no tricks or gimmicks. For you, my magic is the real deal. And is this what you're hoping to see? Oh, there it is, the scar! Just as I thought. It's right, I am the forgotten magician abandoned in the dark on a stage of history. The great Mr. Reyes. This is totally absurd. Hey, there's still a dead man, though. There's still a dead man. Oh. How ironic, wouldn't you say, that this odious mark carved into me by Troop Grammar would bring me back to the limelight once more. Strange are the comic threats before me. The witness is the real Mr. Reyes, then who is the victim who perished in the magic show? He was but a fan. I met him on one of my programs several years ago. He said he had become a magician out of admiration for the great Mr. Reyes. In confidence, I told him my true identity and let him take on my mantle.
And when did this man take over for you?
About 2 years ago, I taught him my tricks and even acted as his producer. And so as a mere amateur, became a popular magician overnight, courtesy of my magic on the stage we call television. Hope you enjoyed the show.
You really had us all fooled.
Mr. Retinas, or should I say Mr. Reyes? If your hatred for the Troop Grammar, you killed the victim Miss Tree. Who? Mr. Mystery? What? And then set up Miss Wright to take the fall, didn't you? And then set up Miss Wright to take the fall, didn't you? You did it all just to tarnish the Grammar name. You have no idea what you're talking about, lad. I set up the prank, that much is true, but it was simply a harmless joke on Shusi, I assure you. Yet she learned of the plan and made use of it to commit murder. That is how strongly the criminal elements run in the blood of these Grammars. But if it was kept a secret plan that very few people knew about, couldn't you have been the one to use it for murder instead? The dude's head fell off. Huh, just kidding. What the heck was that? Heed my word, lawyer lad, for I fear you grasp on reality slipping. I do believe I told you that my magic is real and employs neither tricks nor gimmicks. Enough with the ambiguity. Why don't you make your point already? My alibi is as pristine as ever. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Samade?
Yes, I suppose that is correct. The witness does have a solid alibi.
What?
Recall, defense, at the time of the magic show, Mr. Retinas was at Take-Two TV. The fact that many people can easily attest to.
Yeah, he's right, I forgot all about that. So what do you think, Your Honor? Would you like me to testify on the matter?
Yes, I think you'd better. Please tell the court more about your alibi.
Very well then, on with the show. Are you watching, Magnifique Grammar? The time has come for me. The time has finally come for my magic to snuff out your precious pedigree. The Grammar line will be no more. Alright, well, let's hear your alibi. I was at the TV station at the time of the Penrose performance. I was busy working on another TV program. I couldn't spare no time for the magic show. Do ask myself if you doubt my claim. And there is a simple and perfect alibi. No tricks, no gimmicks, just the truth. I'm not going to believe that. Do you understand now, perhaps? I do not grace the theater with my presence until after the incident. So how could I have committed the murder? His staff did say he was there at the station. So it sure does sound like a rock-solid alibi. But that can't be right. If Mr. Retinas is the killer, he'd have to have been at the theater. There's gotta be a hole somewhere in his story. I assure you there are no holes on Mr. Reyes' stage. No tricks, no gimmicks. True magic doesn't need trapdoors to escape through. Do enjoy the show to the fullest. And my real alibi.
Hold it!
What was this other TV show you were working on? Final special project. You see, well, perhaps this is more appropriate. It's Raiden Raja special production. Yeah, hang loose, baby. It's called Desperation Regeneration. Switch personas just to say that. What's the show about? Washed Up has been singers and comedians get together and play musical chairs. The winner of the game is given a second chance at their career. A priceless prize for chumps who washed up too early in life. Sounds great, right? Might I suggest you appear on the show, Mr. Justice? As the ex-lawyer used to make ridiculous bluffs in court and faded sadly into obscurity. Let the Raiden Raja produce my TV debut? Not in this lifetime. You have a great reaction, you know. Who knows, TV might be your true calling. Hey, whose side are you on? In any case, I was overseeing production of this program during the Penrose performance. Do ask my staff if you doubt claim.
Hold it!
How do we know these staff members aren't in cahoots with you? I make it my business to perform solo. My magic has neither need nor want of assistance. After all, one of them could reveal the secrets behind my magic, could they not? So he doesn't trust anybody, huh? It's the complete opposite of Shusi. There were many people there in that studio audience who saw the witness as well. Even if he had been able to persuade his own staff to cover for him, he could not have convinced so many complete strangers to do the same. He really has made a rock-solid alibi for himself. Yeah, it's almost too good, you know? It's eerie how perfect it is. Has all been revealed to you by now? And there it is, a simple and yet perfect alibi. No tricks, no gimmicks, just the truth. I've got it. Do you have a brother? A brother that looks exactly like you, maybe? Again with the twins business, you think the audience will let you get away with using the same gimmick twice in a row? If you do not believe in defense, why not investigate for yourself? Though I am sure your efforts will prove to be thoroughly fruitless. Yeah, I guess the twins theory is a little far-fetched. Perfect alibi, huh? It's no good, Apollo. I can't find any holes anywhere. There's gotta be some kind of trick to it. I just know there's a trapdoor in there somewhere. I didn't press the first one. Hold up.
Hold it!
But you did come to the theater eventually, isn't that right? Indeed. You should see how the show is progressing. I made my way to the theater. Let's see. My journey took about 10 minutes by car. Could he actually have been at the theater during those 10 minutes, killing the victim? Allow me to stab at you, reading your mind. Aha. Could I have been at the theater during those 10 minutes, killing the victim? How in the... Oh no, I took a taxi. The driver can attest to that. Feel free to call the taxi company if my word does not satisfy you. The driver is a big fan of the Raiden Raja. I even gave him my card. You gave the driver his card? That was very clever of him. You might as well give it up, lad. Questioning real magic is a fool's errand. Besides, you know very well what I was doing at the time of the incident. There was nothing there. His alibi really is airtight.
I believe we've heard enough. While I believe the witness does indeed harbor some ill will against the defendant, there is no reason to doubt that he was at the TV station at the time of the incident. Yes, the facts prove that it was impossible for the witness to have been involved with this crime. These last rites for the victim have dragged on long enough. The soul of the victim himself is so bored that it is resting on top of your honor's head. It is? The time has come. Let us punish the sinner and guide the victim's soul to the Twilight Realm.
Apollo, Trucy would Joan thrown in prison and will be out of a job. But if you catch tasty fishies, will you sell me some at a good price? I told you I have absolutely zero intention of going off on a tuna boat. Think, Justice, you have to figure this out. It's no use. I can't find a single flaw. So what now? Behold my never-ending magic show. Come for the awe-inspiring showmanship of the great Mr. Reyes. and stay for the grand illusion until the end of time. Wait, is he saying that we're still trapped inside some sort of illusion of his? That's what professional magicians do. They make their audience see something that isn't really there. In other words, you make us see illusions, right? We call it misdirection. While we keep you busy believing one thing, we're busy making something else happen. What we say is there really isn't, and what we say isn't there actually is. Could it be? You know what, Mr. Retinas? I believe we have been spectators to the elaborate illusion you prepared for us. An illusion that subtly turned our attention towards something you wanted us to see. What are you talking about, lad? Have you got something, Apollo? I just remembered something Trucy said about misdirection. What a magician says there really isn't, and what they say isn't there actually is. If we've all been taken for a ride by Mr. Rennis's magic, then maybe he made us see something that wasn't really there. It's time to rethink all of my assumptions about this case. What have we been made to believe was there when it actually wasn't? What have we taken to be the absolute facts of this case? If I reevaluate the validity of all these things, then just maybe. Athena, there's something uncanny about this case. Okay, what is it? Mr. Rennis's alibi is too perfect. That's true, it's like it's impossible to break no matter how hard we try. But maybe that's the trick. Maybe that's exactly what he wants us to think. I'm not following me. We're not making any headway here because we've been focused on breaking his alibi. Oh, I think I get it. You're saying he's using misdirection on us, right? It's definitely a possibility.
Would the defense care to share with everyone what is discussing over there?
Your Honor, we believe that if we were to reconsider a certain assumption, we may finally arrive at the truth. In fact, I think we even finally see who's hiding behind the curtain, so to speak.
What is this certain assumption you're thinking of?
This is the one key assumption we've been taking for granted this whole time. The culprit was on scene. Roger Rennis's guilt. The crime scene? Maybe. Well, the culprit was on scene. What if the culprit was somewhere other than the theater at the time of the crime? What if there was some way to commit the murder without actually being there? If that were the case, Mr. Retina's perfect alibi would become irrelevant.
Objection.
How could one person stab another to death with a sword without physically being there? Furthermore, we all saw what appears to be the culprit's shadow in the footage.
But could we just as easily assume that the shadow does not belong to the culprit?
Well, if that's the culprit, then whose is it?
I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm on the right track. We've all seen something that looks like this shadowy shape before, Your Honor, during the magic show itself.
In that case, please point it out in the show itself.
This dude? Oh my god. This dude right here.
Mr. Justice, what is that even? The shadowy figure.
I thought they looked pretty similar, do you not think so?
Bro, we're down to one life. Are you kidding me? Alright, buddy.
Okay, when he goes up. Boom, right there. Okay. Doesn't this shadow resemble the suspicious shadowy figure?
Now that you mention it, it does, doesn't it?
Mr. Wright, could you identify the shadow for the court? Let's see, I believe that's Mr. Hat's shadow. It's from where he is being pulled up from the stage to the catwalk overhead by wire. And could the shadow that's shown later in the footage be Mr. Hat too? No, that's not possible. After Mr. Hat was pulled up to the catwalk, he stayed up there. In other words, the second shadow was from some other figure being pulled up.
Some other figure. I'm afraid you'll need to be more specific than that, Mr. Justice.
He's right, we've come this far. I'll just have to figure it out from the clues I've had on hand. The bucket? The bucket?
Take that!
Yeah. Butter up.
What?
Take that!
If we consider what has happened, if we consider what was happening on the stage at the time, there's only one answer. The shadow belonged to the fake Mr. Reyes. In other words, Mr. Manov Mystery. Was that his actual name? Since when was that? Oh, I guess it is in the court record right here, Manov Mystery.
The victim?
Please take a look at the prank plan script. Mr. Mystery was to pretend to be dead and then fly up into the air after that. Isn't that right, Mr. Retinas?
Indeed.
Indeed. And what of it? I contend that that's actually what happened. The victim was wearing a stunt harness around his waist. It was most likely attached to a stunt wire so that he can be pulled up into the air.
So you're suggesting that after pretending to be dead in the coffin, the victim flew up into the air just as the prank script says?
Exactly. We just couldn't see him go flying up because the dragon was blocking our view. And that was the last trick, ladies and gentlemen. Is the true piece of the resistance. The true piece of the resistance of the culprit's murderous magic show. Don't tell me. You got it all figured out? Yes, I think so. If we can just look beyond Mr. Retinas' last bit of misdirection, we should finally be able to see the real truth. The victim must have been pulled up into the catwalk just like Mr. Hat, and hit the cushioning up there with considerable force. I just have to figure out what else happened up there at that time.
Are you ready to elaborate, Mr. Justice?
Yes, Your Honor. Wait, so he came out, he wasn't actually dead, but then he went up alive? Yes, Your Honor, I'm ready.
In that case, please answer me this. Why did the culprit make the victim fly up into the air like that?
To hide the body? No, because he wasn't dead yet. Right? He went into the thing, right? He went into the coffin alive. Right? So if he just went up, he wouldn't have been dead at that time, right? Because he would have just been, slipped down, right? Like how it was planned. To falsify an alibi? I don't think so. To murder him? Probably the right answer. Just why did the culprit have to have the victim fly after he appeared in the coffin? And how did the victim actually die, when he was only pretending to be dead in the coffin? If we can figure out how these two questions can relate, the answer should become clear. Could it be? Mr. Mystery must have thought he was just a part of the prank when he appeared on stage. He probably didn't suspect a thing as he was being pulled into the air. After Mr. Wright was called backstage and just as the set piece fell. But the culprit had already planned the real murder weapon in a cushion in the catwalk. It was probably a knife or a blade of some sort. What, you mean? Yes, it really was a magical murder. Just as the prank script said, Mystery was whisked up into the air. Oh, the sword was already there. And straight into a blade there in the catwalk. Oh, so that's probably why freaking Mr. Hat had a hole in his freaking cape, because as we know, Mr. Hat was on the wrong side and he went up. So he probably got cut by the blade and then freaking nothing else happened. In other words, this murder was committed remotely through the use of a magic trick. What?
Remotely?
Using this method, it wouldn't matter where Mr. Retinas was at the time of death. Yeah, but you done got caught. You done got caught. Your entire thing unveiled.
But how does this exactly work, Mr. Justice?
Just before the murder occurred, the dragon set piece was up on the catwalk, and Mr. Man of Tree were connected to each other by a wire at the time. By carrying out the prank plan, Betty made the dragon set piece fall. So while that fell, he went up, which caused Mr. Mystery to rocket straight up. Yeah, with that much force, that's easily cutting into you. And into the blade and the cushion. Yeah, that's definitely like just piercing your entire body, without a doubt. The cushion was high up enough to be hidden from the audience's view. That's why nobody saw the blade. Oh, then that big gash in Mr. Hat's cape. The blade must have been set up overhead sometime before the magic show. Mr. Hat must have been slashed by it too when he was pulled up by the cushion. I can't believe it. I had no idea. I was told that Trucy would freak out if I made that tip fall. That's the only reason I did it. You were used, Betty. Roger Retinas used you. I thought he was my little puppet to boss around, but it was the other way around. After the incident occurred, Mr. Retinas arrived at the theater. He got the murder weapon and swapped the rubber sword with the bloodied steel one. That's also when he lowered the victim's body down to the stage. How did he have time to do all that? When the set piece fell, the audience was evacuated from the building. He was able to do all these things after the fact because there was no one around to see.
Horrific murder camouflaged by a spectacular magic show. That sounds like the kind of murder only a magician could pull off.
As long as the show proceeded as it was scripted, Mr. Mystery was doomed to die. That's why you, Mr. Retinas, who killed the victim. That's why it was you, Mr. Retinas, who killed the victim. All the way from the TV station. The prank plan, or should I say murder plan, proves your murderer's intent. Oh, what do you say there? Grammar! Bro, stop summoning Sentinel.
I don't know
what you're saying, bro.
Enough. You dim-witted, ignorant imbecile. Putrid red pepper.
He can't possibly have a counter argument to make. Talk about not knowing when to let it go and move on. Do you have a rebuttal or something, Mr. Samade?
No blade of any kind was found in the catwalk, which means you have no evidence to support your theory.
But Mr. Retinas received it after the fact.
Which still leaves you with no way to prove your wildly fantastic remote murder theory.
But
without proof, does it not make more sense to believe that the murder was committed there on the stage? That where the blade-stained sword was found after all? That is a very good point. As the only person who could have committed the crime there on that stage is that brat Trucy Wright. Trucy Wright remains the prime suspect. It would appear that what you call truth is a little more than a cheap parlor trick. In the end, you have done nothing to prove the accused's innocence. It is time at last to let it go and move on.
Are you seeing this, magnifique Grammar? My magic is exacting punishment on your granddaughter. The Grammar name is done for. Paula, we need to hit him with a decisive piece of evidence here. I know, that's just what I was thinking.
Mr. Justice, do you or do you not have anything to prove that the witness committed this remote murder you proposed?
Of course I do, Your Honor. This entire incident was carried out exactly according to the script, right?
Right.
So theoretically, there should be no evidence for us to find or use. Which means our best bet is to see if something unscripted happened. There's gotta be something Mr. Retinas couldn't have foreseen. And once I find it, that's how I'll expose his murderous trick. Get ready, Mr. Retinas, because I'm about to reveal the secret to your magic. There are no tricks or gimmicks here, just some good old-fashioned logic. Alright, bro, I love this part of the game, bro. As long as the magic show went as scripted, the murder would have happened without fail. Everything in this case was clearly planned so that no evidence would be left behind. Still, one thing happened that definitely wasn't in the plan. What part of the magic show wasn't part of the original show script? Bonnie's mistake. Hold up. We gotta save. Bro, I love this part of the game, bro. We're just putting everything together, man. It was Bonnie's mistake. Bonnie made a mistake. She was on the wrong side. Bonnie made a mistake during Trucy's escape trick. What mistake did Bonnie make during the magic trick? Life choices? No, Mr. Hat's positioning. Mr. Hat was placed in the wrong spot. Because Bonnie placed Mr. Hat to the right of the coffin instead of the left, Trucy had to reappear on the side of the coffin opposite to the one of the show's script. But the culprit didn't know that when he first arrived at the theater, which means he was bound to make a slip-up when he tampered with the crime scene. Which part of the culprit's cover-up attempt was affected by Trucy's new position? The fingerprints on the coffin, maybe? Blood in the coffin hole? Blood in one of the coffin holes. It's possible the blood was placed there after the fact. Which coffin hole, though? The fingerprints on the coffin? Because he was faced the opposite direction, no? Yeah, he was faced like this, right? Well, you can't really see me. But he was faced like his face towards the back, right? So if Trucy had stabbed him from that side, it would have been on his right instead of his left. Because in here, he was stabbed, I guess in his back. No, hold on. What does the autopsy say? Hold up. Sharp blade, stabbed through the back. I guess the fingerprints, because he would have been stabbed on, like, I guess the other side. I guess? The fingerprint on the coffin. I'm gonna say that it wasn't the fingerprints. Okay. No, that's not right. Even if Trucy's positioning was changed, that wouldn't affect the placement of the fingerprints on the outside of the coffin. Besides, no, I was talking about the inside of the coffin. Blood in the coffin hole? Maybe? The blood was on the wrong side of the coffin, too. Thinking Trucy had appeared on the left, the culprit must have put blood in the left hole. But the blood was eventually discovered in the right hole during the police investigation. If the killer had originally put the blood on the left side, that means he must have tampered with the scene again afterwards to make it line up with the facts. To make the crime scene consistent with the facts, the culprit must have swapped the coffin size? Yeah! Swap the coffin size. Because then, if he was facing, why would he be facing backwards? Because then he'd be facing the other way, right? So if he was facing backwards, it wouldn't have made sense because he would have fallen backwards on his back, right? Instead, he fell forward, right? If he fell forward, then yeah. So if he was facing towards the audience, he would have fell forward and been laying on his stomach. But if he was facing backwards like the fingerprints show on the inside, he would have fell backwards and been face first and then wouldn't have matched up. That's right. The left and right panels of the coffin are interchangeable. The culprit must have switched the two panels to make the blood stain fit the size, but the switch must have also given rise to something unnatural. Oh, I remember now. There was something unnatural about the coffin, and it's just evidence I need. Sorry, Mr. Retinas, but I have some very conclusive proof of your guilt. Another bluff, is it? There's no way you have anything of the kind. The magic is real, No. There are tricks and gimmicks to it, just like any other illusion. What? After the murder, you switched the left and right panels of the coffin, didn't you? Because you did, you left behind something very unnatural for us to find. This proves that Roger Wright has tampered with the crime scene after the murder took place. Yes, sir, the one thing we haven't presented at all in the slightest. Take that!
The fingerprinting results. What about the fingerprints is unnatural?
Let's take a look at the prints the victim left inside the coffin, shall we? If the victim was facing forward in the coffin, his prints would have looked like this. However, what we found was they were facing the opposite direction. It's quite unnatural for the prints to be facing this way, wouldn't you agree?
It is strange, isn't it? But how did they get this way?
They got this way because the culprit thought the magic show had gone according to the script. The culprit thought Mr. Hat would be on the left side of the coffin, and that Miss Wright would also pop up to the left of the coffin as per the show's script. He then assumed he would have thrust the sword into the hole on the left side of the coffin. That's why he put blood in the left hole when he was trying to cover up his crime. But sometime after leaving the bloodstain, the culprit must have realized a mistake. He found out that due to Bonnie's mistake, Mr. Hat was on the right side of the coffin. And that despite the script, Miss Wright had thrust the sword into the hole to the right. In short, the hole with the blood in it was the opposite side of the one that Trucy Wright used. To make the blood location fit the facts, he had to tamper with the evidence yet again. So he tried to cover his tracks by switching the coffin left and right panels.
Oh, so that's how the fingerprints on the coffin ended up backwards.
Because the culprit switched
Because the culprit switched the two side panels around. The prints ended up facing the opposite direction. But instead of going to all that trouble with the panels, why didn't the culprit just wipe the blood away and redo the other side?
I'm afraid that wouldn't have worked, Your Honor, because a little something called luminal testing.
Oh, right, luminol. I almost forgot. Luminol can take traces.
Yeah, we know about luminol, bro. We've all watched Dexter. That's right. Wiping the blood away would have only served as proof of his metal. How about it, Mr. Retinas? I did a pretty good job figuring out your trick, didn't I? Damn it! Trucy Wright could have done it just the same as easily. You have no proof that it was this witness who tampered with the evidence. Ah, but I do have proof. What? The person who was in the magic show, who would never have made a mistake of putting the blood on the wrong side. Least of all Miss Wright, who surely would have remembered she was on the other side.
Oh my, you're absolutely right.
Why, you impudent. I'm sure you've realized by now, Prosecutor Samade, that your claim that Miss Wright is the culprit just doesn't hold up. You... Really? Miss Wright and I? Because I think you're the one who, with the ticket there, trying to convict an innocent girl. Broke his anal beads. No way. Hey, what the? Did Apollo just hit him with some freaking shadow boxing, bro? Like, what's... As for the true culprit, he is someone who knew how the show was supposed to go but didn't actually see it. And someone who had the chance to tamper with the crime scene after the incident. And the only person who fits the bill is you, Roger Retinas. Grab her! All of the secrets to your tricks have been revealed. And with no tricks left, I'm afraid your show has been cancelled permanently. All of my secrets have been revealed, you say. Don't make me laugh, boy. Mine is the true, real magic. There are no secrets to reveal. Behold, ladies and gentlemen, the true power of the great Mr. Reyes. Witness the magic far greater than the troop grammars. Burn. Crumble. Fall to my furious flames. The great Mr. Reyes will bring an end to you all. And now for the final heir to the grammar name. Right there, right now, you two. Shall burn. Huh? No, this isn't right. Ah! No, I didn't do anything wrong. No, it's not my fault. I'm not the one to blame.
I'm the victim here. Ah! What? Ah! Ah! Stop! No! Curse you, Grammer! Like I said, bro, I can't yell. So I can't really yell that. Did he die? What happened to him? Curse those Grammars. It's all because of them. Even now they wound me. Curse them all to the abyss! Yeah, buddy. Get over yourself.
Do you really hate us that much? Does your hatred run that deep? Deep enough to kill an innocent man?
You're damn right. You have no idea what humiliation I had to suffer. Your grandfather, Magnifique Grammar, kicked me out after I got hurt practicing my magic. He said I was too unskilled, that I would mess up on stage. He threw me out of the troupe just because he was worried about his own reputation. Since I was but a child, it was always my dream to become a great magician. But that Magnifi took it all away from me.
But that's no excuse. There's no reason to do something so evil. Magic was to make people happy, not used as a means for murder.
What's the big deal? I just used what I had available to me, that's all.
I get it now. That attitude towards magic is why my grandfather kicked you out. You don't deserve to call yourself a magician.
Don't deserve? I don't know about that. After all, you were completely taken in by my magic, were you not? If not for that lawyer over there, you would be on your way to prison as we speak.
You're right. I didn't see through your tricks.
You see? So in the end, Troop Grammar was defeated by the great Maester Reyes. You're not fit to lecture me on high, Trucy Wright. You don't even deserve to call yourself a magician, you naive greenhorn. Take that, Grammar, you lose. If anyone needs to learn to let it go and move on, it's this guy. This quarter in my prison could both burn in the flames of creation. Yeah, buddy, just get over yourself, man. That was years ago, man. Alright, you didn't even get embarrassed. You would have embarrassed yourself going on that stage and hurting yourself, bro. Bring a fire extinguisher just to be safe. That's easily the best chord ending and intro freaking song in the series. Looks like we've reached the end. I feel as though I've been watching a grand magic show. It was close, but we just barely made it through somehow. Huh? Why does Shuza look so down? Miss Wright.
Yes, Your Honor?
I'm about to announce my verdict. Can I see that wonderful smile of yours, that smile of a true entertainer, as I do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, the court finds the defendant, Trucy Wright.
Sir, this nigga not guilty.
Look at this dude, bro. He all mad, bro. He all mad.
This dude really thought he happy. This dude really thought he happy, bro. All that disrespect for what? All that disrespect for what, bro? Just get your ass beat, bro. Get your ass beat, bro. Yeah, bro. I'm undefeated, bro. I think Apollo Justice isn't defeated. I think. I'm pretty sure he is.
Thank you for everything, Polly. What you see crazy you do. Now you can open your show tomorrow, just as planned. Yup, and it's all thanks to you two. Oh, but now that Mr. Race is gone, I'll need to find somebody to replace him.
Bro, I'm not your freaking little assistant, buddy. I don't like the way she's looking at me.
Shusy, I'm sorry about everything. Hey, what are you apologizing for? Mr. Wright has used us. We're the victims too. He even made an accomplice of murder. But Betty, we have to take some of the blame for this too, you know. Even if we didn't know he was planning to kill Mr. Mystery, we did cooperate with him. It's my fault, isn't it? Neither of you is to blame. The only one who in the wrong is the person who used magic to commit murder, Mr. Wright is. Huh. Don't you think I know that? Say what you want, but think for a second that I don't still hate you. I guess she really does hate me. But Betty, why? You used to be a big fan of Trucy's. Hey, shut up! I've always hated her. Really? But if we hadn't seen it, Trucy's magic show, we would have never tried to become a professional musician ourselves, right? Speak for yourself. But Betty, just shut up! She acting that way the whole time because she secretly loves Trucy? Wow, Trucy, I never knew that being the best would be so rough. Come on, Bonnie. We're leaving. We have to get ready for tomorrow's show. You're really excited about performing with Trucy again, aren't you? That's not true, so zip it, dummy. Yeah, bro, your tricks have to change up because we know you're twins now, bro. You really think I am a naive greenhorn? No way, she's not.
After all, you were completely taken in by my magic, were you not? If not for the lawyer over there, you would be on your way to prison as we speak.
Yeah, we seen all these, man. No, Trucy, you're not a naive greenhorn. That dude's just salty about what happened with your freaking grandfather 20 years ago, bro. Well, maybe a little. I didn't see through his tricks and I let myself be taken in by his magic. I can't trust myself anymore. Maybe he was right to call me a greenhorn. You shouldn't take stock in his words. He didn't even know the first thing about you. You're a wonderful grammar magician. You should be proud of yourself. Thank you, Apollo, but what makes you say that?
Take that!
Take that! My grandfather's notebook? Your grammar a creed. A true entertainer always keeps a smile on their face. When you performed your magic trick in court today, you showed the world your dedication to your troops' creed. Even through all the jeering, you kept a smile on your face and won the crowd over. You were everything Magnifi could have hoped for in an heir. You're a great magician, Trucy. A great magician? Me? You really are. That's why you don't have to worry about what Retina said. Oh, Polly, thank you. Still, I couldn't have done it without you. I would have lost my nerve if I'd have been alone up there. But I was able to keep on smiling because of you. Me? I remember what you said to me in the detention center. After all, are you sure you sought the sword, right? Yes, I remember doing it. Now I just know it wasn't your fault, Trucy. But how can you say that? You don't have any proof it wasn't me. I mean, I know you're a great lawyer, Polly, but I believe in you, Trucy. I believe in your skill as a professional magician. So I'm going to prove your innocence. Don't worry, you're going to be fine. Your words are what kept me going. Apollo, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now I can be everything I was meant to be. Trucy's real smile is the best. I'm so glad I can help her make that happen. Emma? I'm really sorry, Trucy, for everything. But why? Well, I wasn't able to convince Prosecutor Samade what a good person you are. And I had to testify against you, too. You have nothing to apologize for. You were just doing your job. You're too kind. Oh, I don't know about, something wrong, Emma? Oh. Bro, Samade, bro, what do you want, bro? What are you doing here?
Detective Sky,
Yes?
I require your forensic expertise in order to close this case. Come, let us go.
Wait, Professor Samade!
The trial is over, Mr. Justice. You and I are strangers once more, with no further need to interact.
Strangers? You've really forgotten all about me?
What did y'all do?
Y'all know each other? Netanyahu and Apollo Justice know each other? You've really changed, Netanyahu. Telling me to let it go and stuff. What happened to you?
O lawyer of impure soul, I have nothing to say to the likes of you.
Are you serious, Netanyahu?
Now, if you will excuse me.
There he goes. What was that all about, Apollo? How do you know Professor Samade? Professor, bro. Prosecutor. Not Professor. Let's just say we were old acquaintances. Acquaintances? Seems like something more than that. Yeah, well... You don't like to talk about your past, do you? Because you always change the subject. Guess I'll talk about it someday. Someday, but for now... Come on, let's forget about the past and celebrate Trucy's future. Sure, if you say so. Hey... I remember the song from Apollo Justice. I just don't remember which case it's from. Oh, is it from the third case? I think it is. Oh yeah, it's Lamir's song. I'm pretty sure. Hey, it's Mr. Wright. Put on speakerphone, Apollo. What's up, Mr. Wright? Apollo, how's Shusi? What happened at that trial? Did you get a non-guilty verdict? Mr. Wright, slow down. Everything's fine. Hi, Daddy. I'm okay now. She was found not guilty in a very dramatic turnabout. Plus, we saved the office. It was a great victory for Apollo. Oh, that's a load off my mind. I can't thank you enough, Apollo. I don't know I can trust you to hold down the fort anytime. Me? Really? Yes, you. You're a real full-fledged lawyer now in my eyes. A full-fledged lawyer? I still can't wrap my mind around it. Thank goodness you were there to take care of everything. And thank you, Apollo. No need to go that far, boss. Especially not in front of everyone. Oh, and by the way, I won't be able to make it tomorrow's show, so I was hoping you could go. You do that for me, won't you? Of course. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Full-fledged. So then he asked you to come to tomorrow's show, huh? As my assistant, right? No. He asked me to go cheer you on. Bro, I'm not being your assistant, Trucy. No. You be my assistant. I'm the lawyer. Alright? Best seats in the house. I really appreciate the thought, but good, then it's settled. Hey, sure, man. April 29th at Penrose Theater Stage.
Objection!
I should have known. Alright, man. What are we doing, man? This is what she meant? Magician girl Trucy Wright will not perform the greatest illusion yet. There are no tricks or gimmicks here, ladies and gentlemen. This is real magic. Wait a minute, are you kidding, right? There is a trick or gimmick, right? I'm too young to die. Now then, Mr. Hat, you know what to do with that sword. No, wait, stop. Yo, what are they doing to Apollo? That is how Trucy and Grammarland ended up on a rousing high note. With a big round of applause and Polly's ears bleeding screams. What kind of an ending is that? Yeah, poor Apollo, man. Yo, Trucy, I'm not gonna be your assistant, buddy. No. Hey, there you go. That's the end of Case 2. That's the end of Case 2. It's pretty good. Pretty good case. Top 10 in the series? Debatable. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's episode. Next episode, we'll move on to Case 3, which is back to Phoenix Wright, I'm pretty sure. And then I think Case 4 is Athena. And then Case 5, I think it's all three of them, maybe. I don't know. And then there's a special episode, which I might do, might not. I don't know. I might do it at like a later time. Probably. Alright, that's going to be it. And I'll see you guys the next one. Peace.